ESPN Radio. Great to be with you. Hope you had a great weekend. Good Monday. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. It's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Always don't miss anything. If you do miss something, we got you. All 3 hours going to be posted both on iTunes and in our own audio vault upon the conclusion of the program. So go find it there. Email the show if you like. It's JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. You can find us on Twitter at 979ESPNradio. You go there when you're on Twitter, and you'll see that the show is being periscoped. It's also on YouTube, ESPN Tallahassee. If you want to follow me on Twitter, it's at Jay Cameron Show. WTSM app, good for your mobile devices. That's always a good thing. It's free, so download it, and you can listen to the show that way, too. There are a number of ways to remain locked into the program. Hey, finally, it's here, right? We finally get what we've been waiting on. It's the week that we lead up to the spring game, and I know a lot of people have been eagerly anticipating this. I'm one of them, so I look forward to it. I hope this week to wrangle Willie Taggart onto the program.
War Daddies.
Yeah, get a chance to talk to him about what he expects to see this spring, what he wants to see in this game, what can be gleaned from a spring game. That's always up for debate, too, by the way, exactly what you can truly learn in a spring game. I had a chance, I don't know how many of you heard it, over the weekend. I was hosting on ESPNU with SiriusXM, and I asked that very question to a number of people, what they look to find, former players and those that cover these spring games around the country as well, about what you really think you can take away. For us, it's interesting, though. It's unique for this season because, again, you're talking about the really implementation of an entirely new system of doing things. Right? So that changes everything. It's not just how are the new guys fitting into an already existing set of parameters. It is now, well, who has surprised? Who's a name that wasn't a name under the previous regime? Who best fits in a system that is all new? How are these coaches relating to players and bringing out the best in them? And how do we look on defense with a new defensive coordinator and obviously a bunch of assistants that are new, save for Odell? Offensively, the same holds true. And so I think a lot of us don't know what to expect.
Well, and one thing that I was concerned about this morning in reading Ira Schaffel's piece on WarChant.com, he was recapping.
He'll join us, by the way, in the 4 o'clock hour today.
Perfect. Well, he can expound on it, but he was recapping what Willie was saying this morning. Man, they're having to cross-train offensive linemen. They only got 7 healthy ones right now. So it worries me as to what the product is going to even have the opportunity to look like on Saturday.
Yeah, OL group down to 7 scholarship players. Running back segment was down to 3 during Monday's practice. So they're running some guys out there that, frankly, are not guys that you would expect to see start, not guys they were counting on to start. So it does give opportunity to some of these other guys to perhaps flash and surprise and work their way into some playing time. But, yeah, it makes you hold your breath a little bit. You know, I don't know. I've been covering spring football practices and games for 20 years, and I don't know but about 5 times that I ever truly walked away from a spring game or even some of the spring practices that I've watched over the years, where I saw something that I thought appreciably made us better or worse, where I could say, oh, I didn't know this. This guy is going to change the way we look. The last one was Jameis Winston. The last guy that, and you were sitting next to me, the last one that we saw where we went, oh, well, that's completely game-changing. This is not what we've known. This is going to be something that I'm going to have a hard time not overstating its value. I remember coming on the air after the back shoulder throw. The most impressive throw Jameis Winston made before we ever saw him start a game here was a throw that was incomplete. And you and I turned and went, well, my God, it's Aaron Rodgers.
Right, and it wasn't, the pass over LaMarcus Joyner to a walk-on for a touchdown.
No,
that's a result play, but you're looking for moments
it's cool,
and
but
skills.
Yeah.
Right, you're looking for skills that translate and perhaps might be unique. And he had a couple.
He had a couple early and often, and a command and a way about him, and just those back shoulder throws that you see NFL quarterbacks make. are relatively modern throws, by the way. That has not been something that's been in the game and featured in the game for a long time. And so to see a freshman, a redshirt freshman, have that, you thought, well, that's certainly different. That's not what you see in the arsenal of young quarterbacks every day.
It was anticipation. It was a throw to his left where Rashad breaks back on the ball. And the funny thing was, obviously, when he debuts up in Pittsburgh, which you were at that game too, at Heinz Field, he worked that comeback route to Rashad, 4 or 5 times in a row?
Oh, they just kept calling the same play.
Right, because nobody can stop that because the ball is already out of his hand.
It was
before
ridiculous.
Rashad makes his break. So
well, and you have the roll into your left with the flick to
Right.
O'Leary for a touchdown where he's throwing people open, and you're like, well, okay, that's what we're doing around here now. Well, so anyhow, the point would be this. It's not about that. Jameis, if you're in town, I know that you are. You're welcome.
Stop on by.
Stop on by, buddy.
ESPNTallahassee.com. Look up the address, buddy.
Yeah, he'll swing by. Maybe I'll get a text. But here's the thing. What I would tell you is this, that it's rare that you go to a spring game or a spring practice and you see something that you think, well, this is game-changing for the season, meaning like I can now predict us to win some games that I didn't think we were going to win because I just saw that at a spring game. But that doesn't typically happen. There are transcendent players where you go, oh, well, we've got that guy now. You know, there are players like that, but it is pretty rare.
Well, I fell in love last year with Cam Akers when he and Derwin James met head up, and Akers was able to absorb the blow of Derwin James
Handle
and
that, yeah.
move forward after the collision as somebody who should have been at prom, not in a spring game at all.
Yeah, no, there was no doubt. He's stout, right? Yeah. Ooh. Now, of course, after that spring game, we subsequently went on to go 6-6. So, yes, his ability was flashed.
Right, yeah.
But you see what I'm saying about
sure
game-changing.
It wasn't fundamental the way Jameis was.
Right. So, I think, anyhow, I think it's always exploratory. You go to these games. You're really fans, and I'm counting us under that umbrella. It's more about, hey, look, let me see the underclassmen that I haven't really seen before, some of the new guys that might get a look here early on. So, and obviously in this case, you can add to that. You're gonna want to look at a system that you haven't really seen around these parts anyhow. You've seen it throughout college football, but you haven't watched it play out in Doak Campbell as run by Florida State University with its personnel. And obviously you want to watch Harlan Barnett's bunch on defense and to get a feel for, are we more attacking or what do we look like there? All of that's true, but it's also about getting together with friends, family, and fellow Noles everywhere to sit back, tailgate, enjoy a beautiful evening, and kind of it's anticipatory about what's going to be in the fall. I just don't know that we're going to walk out of that stadium and glean all that much in the way of discernible proof that this is going to work and come up roses. I'm not saying it won't work. It's just that they've had really a disjointed spring to some extent. Good practices, but you've got a lot of guys out. I mean, we don't know even come fall who's going to be the starting quarterback. One of the guys that's in serious contention to be a starting quarterback here really can't participate. So it's kind of a mixed bag. I'm excited, but I don't know what to expect.
Yeah, you're looking for details. Again, we're talking about what Jameis did, and we're talking about throws that weren't highlight reel throws. They wouldn't make the quick cut up. You're talking about, I'm looking for indicators, and that's the same thing that you can look for this weekend, see how comfortable James Blackman is running the offense. Take a look at his intermediate throws. I mean, we already know he's got a great deep ball, but if he has to force a football into a window that's 8 or 10 yards deep and it's on the outer hash, can he make that throw? How about over the middle? How does he use the hash marks between the hash marks of the field? How do we use the tight ends in the offense? Our short yardage situations, what do we look like there? Do they like each other? You know, do they play with each other and for each other? All little things. But, yeah, you can't override everything you see and say, well, that's a top 5 football team. That's a preseason top 5 football team. I mean, how the hell would you ever be able to measure that?
They drafted the Garnet and the Gold. We'll go through the rosters, all that good stuff, talk a little bit about the process. Florida State drops 2 of 3 on the road against Georgia Tech in baseball. That ain't good. Noles win the first game. You think, all right, roll on Big River. It's been a good week. Obviously, you'd already knocked off Jacksonville earlier this week. Then you go up there and you win that first game on the road against Georgia Tech. It's been a team that has won their series in the ACC, so you're thinking, all right, all is well. Then the bats go cold, and they really end up you lose a heartbreaker 2-1, and then you turn around and get beat soundly yesterday. So Florida State drops the series against Georgia Tech. And what that does is move them out of the top 10 as we get set for tomorrow night's game at home against the University of Florida, the last chance before postseason to beat the University of Florida on the season. It would be nice. Be nice to register a win against Florida at some point. It'd be a good thing. I know it's not the be-all, end-all, and that it's a one-off during a midweek performance. It's getting old. It's getting awfully old to just chalk up another loss in this rivalry.
Well, it's kind of like our hockey club, the Lightning, last week. They're playing Boston. Been owned by Boston. If for no other reason, if you just
to show them that you can beat them.
Create some doubt.
Right.
That's all.
Just something. Right? You got that 4-0 win, and you're like, there.
Right.
There, we can beat you.
Even if we don't win this division, when we see each other in the second round, you have to have second thoughts because
we showed we could beat you.
We waxed you. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and, I'd like to believe at some point we could present something that was better than what Florida does to the likes of, USF. I mean, I'd like to say we are Florida State. This is... it's an elite program, and it is that. They were just in the College World Series, finished 6th in the country. There's no getting around that. And all of your frustration and angst over not having won a national title, there is no denying that the program has remained consistently solid, if not very, very good. Currently, however, it is buried by a avalanche of losses to the University of Florida in baseball. And so however unimportant singular baseball games are in a regular season on a Tuesday night, this does feel like it's a little bit bigger. Like, can we please just get the damn win? I've reached that point of frustration. The fan has come forth. I am very much of, I'm not going to claim this means more than just a win. I'd like to get the damn win.
It's a now damn it moment.
Well, I had a now damn it moment a while ago. I had a now damn it moment when we got up 4 runs earlier this year, and then they came back and just beat us like a drum.
Right. It's your sons in the car, and you've told them and told them, and you're letting it ride a little bit.
Now damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a now damn it
The arm reaches back behind the seat. That's the sign of death.
Oddly enough, by the way, the now damn it moment happened the first game, not the 1-0 game. The 1-0 game, I was able to just chalk up to 2 great pitching performances. Both teams played exceptionally well. We were very good on defense. Everything about that game was a well-played baseball game. You just happened to lose it. And, 1-0 happens. Hurts, but it happens, and okay. But the game, what did we lose, 9-4, whatever that was?
Yeah.
That one pissed me off. You got Applin hitting home runs left and right. And I'm like, here you go. Here we go. Let's break out of this slumber big time.
You're my boy, Rhett.
Yeah, let's have a party.
That's what you do.
And then, midway through the game, we're just, not only are we going to lose, we're getting killed.
Can they call it?
I was like, this is ridiculous. The Masters concluded, and we have yet another new major champion in the form of Patrick Reed. Give you some insight on what that was, and I actually think this Masters tournament was infinitely interesting beyond Patrick Reed winning it. And I feel like that's half of the golf world, right? Like, oh, great, Patrick Reed won it.
You got everything you wanted, save for one of the 40-somethings contending on a Sunday. That's everything else was there.
Yeah, Tiger and Phil didn't give us what we wanted. In fact, Phil really didn't. But I will say, yes, that's true. And the only other disappointing aspect of the Masters yesterday to me was that one of the guys you thought that could rise to the occasion to give us this thing, this storyline, this narrative we had wanted, it was there. It could happen. He has a chance to tie early in the round, misses a little 4-footer for eagle, and Rory McIlroy goes away and hides, which was kind of stunning. And it lets you know, again, how difficult it is when you're on the precipice of golfing history, right? And I think that is on his brain and then some, and it's consistently in Augusta that you see it. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
There goes another round of bend. TNT.
Why does Mahendra?
I decided on Mahindra just because of the sheer strength, the size, the ease of the workability, and it was more of a comfortable machine than the others.
You could lift just about anything with that thing. It has never let me down.
And now get the industry's best 7-year limited powertrain warranty on select models.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Month in Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep's history. And Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep is throwing a party to celebrate.
A party?
Yup, a big, gigantic family fun party Saturday afternoon, April 14th.
I like parties. Will there be music?
You bet. Live performances from Tallahassee's favorite, the Tobacco Road Band.
How about food and things for kids?
Plenty of food, bounce houses, face painting, even clowns on stilts. It's gonna be a blast.
Special pricing?
Absolutely. Save with employee pricing on all new 2017 models in stock. And when you buy one of those very cool Chrysler Pacifica minivans, you'll get a DVD player for the back seat at no charge.
No charge? Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep really knows how to throw a party.
You bet they do. Save the date, Saturday afternoon, April 14th. And don't worry, it'll be over in time to get to the spring football game. Right, Gene?
Right on the quarter. And always right on the price.
Have you ever noticed when you report an accident or a claim to an insurance company, they are very eager to get you to one of their approved body shops. They say that they guarantee the shops work, but what they're really saying is the shop works for them, not the customer. So choose a shop that is working for and looking out for you, someone you trust. It's your choice. Lisa's Paint and Body.
License number MP46050.
From the beginning, they were applauded. The music that sold over 100 million records. Chicago.
Friday, May 18th, 7:30 p.m. Donald L. Tucker Civic Center.
The music of Chicago.
Does anybody really know what time it is?
Tickets are on sale now at TuckerCivicCenter.com. The Tucker Civic Center box office are charged by phone.
Chicago.
Looking for a new place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill with 3 locations to choose from. Just show them your stub. That's right, your ticket stub from any local sporting event for $1 pints and $3 crafts. BOGO Mondays every Monday with 50% off specials. Like or follow on Facebook to get all the details. PS4 tourneys, trivia, karaoke, darts, and more. Lots of daily lunch specials under $8. Happy hour specials daily and happy hour all day on Friday. The Hobbit American Grill.
Don't just listen to The Jeff Cameron Show. Watch it live. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Live weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. Head to ESPNTallahassee.com today to watch live or catch up on demand. The Jeff Cameron Show Streamcast. Brought to you by Nice Tire and Auto, your trusted Goodyear dealer.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus. Eat, sleep, fish. Mike's Marine Supply and Skeeter Boats want to get you out on the open water. They're your local Skeeter dealer, custom rigged with Yamaha outboards. Stocked with a full line of Skeeter boats from the Bass to the Saltwater Bay Series, Skeeter has been recognized for 18 consecutive years as the leader in customer satisfaction for fiberglass outboard boats. Check in at Mike's Marine Supply for the spring specials starting soon. Located at 1296 Coastal Highway, Panacea, Florida, call Mike's Marine at 984-5637, online at mikesmarinetallahassee.com.
You're listening to The Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
just had one of those moments where you yell and say to the photo you're looking at, no, that can't be. Come on, time. You are cruel. Dale Murphy, the former Brave great, just posted a picture of him and Bob Horner. Now, you're too young, but those were the Braves teams that many of our listeners fell in love with, obviously, as they were on every day. And while I didn't grow up a Braves fan at all, I did watch them constantly. So I know that team well with Chambliss and everybody else, right? But the picture, it's a picture where Dale Murphy is, hey, me and Bob, always fun to see my friend and teammate from the glory days. What a hitter. That's all, just a simple picture. And he's backstage, I think at a card signing or something with Bob Horner. The two of them look 85 years old and on the perch of death looking over, right? I mean, it's just, damn it. Bob Horner was this strong man, and I look at him now and I go, damn you.
The darkness is creeping towards you.
Yes, it is. It's looking just like that. It's like when I met Mike Schmidt.
When was this?
The Phillies, the spring training game the Knowles played against the Phillies. I went down there. It's the same day I talked to Tim Kirchin. And
oh, it's a while back. Okay.
Yeah, and so I walked down to – we got there very early. And I told this story on the air, but it's heartbreaking because Mike Schmidt, strong man.
The darkness is creeping towards you.
And, as good a player as you'll find at third. And anyhow, I have a certain – this is what unfortunately is what happens. It befalls you if you're an actor or you're in the public eye at all, and you go away for long periods of time, and then all of a sudden we see you again. You're forever fixed in our memory as the person that was in that film in 1974, and now it's 2018, and I go, oh, my God.
Hubie Brown, you got old.
Yeah. The only person that is excluded in that rule is Raquel Welch. For whatever reason, Raquel Welch was damn hot, stunningly so, from 1950 whatever to like yesterday. She's still hot, I bet. I'm telling you, nobody has had a prolonged run of hotness. I'm not talking about pretty. I'm not talking about where, and I'm going to go ahead and be, a typical male here. I'm not just talking about like a woman you go, well, my goodness, she has aged gracefully. Is just an elegant, wonderful-looking woman. She is just beautiful, even at 75 years old. No, I'm talking about a woman that in that advanced stage, guys would say, well.
You know who's got a chance, though?
Who?
Demi Moore.
She does. But she had surgery.
Halle Berry.
Oh, Halle Berry for sure. Halle Berry's got a much better chance.
Yeah.
Halle Berry has soft features.
Charlize Theron, still going. Devil's Advocate was 20 years ago. 20 plus.
Selma Hayek?
Well, of course, I'm sure, probably.
I think she probably still
even if not, you would still
No, I wouldn't. I think if it fades, it fades. It happens to all of us, unless you're Raquel Welch.
Right.
Then you're doing, Playboy shoots at 65 years old, and nobody's offended. They're like, well, my God, that's something to behold. Anyhow, Bob Horner and Dale Murphy are not going to be doing those shoots.
The darkness is creeping towards you.
Yeah, thanks for that image.
Yeah, no, not going to happen.
Remember those guys you watched on TBS all those years? Now think of them
as dead. It's happening any day now. It's just, damn it, it's just during the break, and I went, well, no, Bob Horner. When I met Mike Schmidt, I was absolutely devastated because I had this image of him. He shrunk 7 inches when I saw him. He was flabby. And I went, oh, you're not Mike Schmidt. I don't believe it.
How was the Jack interaction for that reason? Were you sad a little bit?
No, because
is he hanging in there?
Jack, first of all, and you're referencing the great Jack Nicklaus so that we can get back to the golf for a second. And
not Daniels, no.
Here's the thing. Jack was, again, class act, so nice. I was sitting there in awe. There are people that are icons, and you know it when you're sitting across from them. Like, you feel the weight of it. And I didn't want to say anything or do anything stupid because I was a guest. So I'm deferring to, first of all, the player, Harry Ellis, who's going to pick his brain because he's actually competing in the Masters. So I'm staying way back. And then Trey Jones, who's afforded me this opportunity to even be to where I could be going into chalet here at Augusta National right next to the clubhouse. And then his wife was there too. And I've always heard Barbara Nicholas described as this wonderful human being. And I wanted to be, reverential to both of them. And I was. And also, I ended up meeting the grandson who hit the hole-in-one, and he was there with Gary.
Dude's big.
He is a big kid, too. And so they were all there, and I just shut up and listened. And I said about, I don't know, maybe 50 words total in the time we were there.
Incredible.
I know. That is incredible. But I knew enough to be quiet. Still have that. That's still in there. There's a little voice that says, shh. And I was. And I listened and tried to soak it all in and really look around the room and try to you're sitting in a room with Jack, but you can feel it. Now, he has shrunk. He says 4 inches. Jack said 4 inches. Like 4 to 5 inches from his heyday.
So what is
I'd say it's about 6 or 7 inches from his heyday.
Up to your chin?
Yeah, he's little. But he wasn't. He was a big, strong man for a long time.
He was a big guy.
But he's not. No, he's very little now. But sharp as attack.
That's what matters.
That's what matters. Yeah. Still sharp as
okay.
attack. All right. So that's
now that enough time has passed from last week, I feel like I could have not asked you that question, the day after you met him. But maybe I can ask you now.
No.
To give an honest assessment. How's he doing?
He's doing well.
Okay.
Sharp as attack. So the Masters concludes. It's always great. Patrick Reed wins it. We have another first-time winner at a major. You could sense that nobody there wanted him to win it. That in itself is a weird story because the guy played at Augusta State and won 2 national titles. Most people don't even know Augusta State exists, but it's there in Augusta, and the people there certainly do. And he won national titles with them, and yet those people aren't rooting for him. So I find that fascinating. He played at Georgia and was told and asked to move it along at Georgia before transferring because his teammates weren't big fans. There were weird allegations against him at Georgia on the course as well. So he's had a checkered past, if you will. I don't know what's true and what's not, so I don't want to go down that road, but there were allegations back then that he may have acted improperly on a golf course, which golfers will hold on to for life. That is something that, and I have learned that from you and others and Trey and anybody else, and just working on the PGA Tour channel, that's a big, if that charge is levied, you had better be certain it's true because you can ruin a person's career, their reputation, their opportunities at endorsements, everything. So I don't know what happened at Georgia, but that was thrown around, okay? So you wonder because the other part of that story is this. Where were his parents, right? Why weren't they there? They live in Augusta. They were watching from a house. They were not on the course. This is a guy that, again, kicked off the team at one place, nearly kicked off at another, so estranged from the locals there that they barely clapped for his victory and basically wanted an Irishman to defeat the pseudo-local star. Now, he's from Texas originally, so he's not really that local, but he's kind of an enigma. He's a tough guy to figure out. But he was tough yesterday when he had to be. He has 1 top 10 finish in 16 major starts prior to yesterday. He's also a guy that owned the par fives. Minus 13 on the par fives. The record at the Masters all time for 4 days at Augusta is minus 15. He basically stated, play the other holes for par.
Yeah.
Birdie your par fives, and you'll win the Masters. And you know what? Kudos, because that's what's known as a game plan. And he had it, and he stuck to it even in the midst of the pressures. So when he gets caught, when Jordan Spieth catches him, it is still evident that Patrick Reed, in retrospect, knows Jordan Spieth has run out of holes. I've got par fives coming.
Correct.
I'm going to be able to get that,
got
but
lucky.
You then have to do it.
Yeah, got lucky on 13.
Very.
To the side of the hill.
Got lucky twice. He got lucky on the front 9 on a putt that would have been 15 feet by.
Yeah. Was that
number
3 or
2,
4?
Is it 3? Whatever it was going to go a mile by.
I think it was 3, yeah, because he made par when McIlroy made birdie on 2.
That's right. So it was going to go flying by, but it hit the flagstick and stopped short so he could make the comeback. And then that hole on 13.
Well, and then what about 17, too? He got lucky there. The ball hits the cup.
Yeah.
When he chips from the side of the green. If he does, that thing's going 15, 20 feet.
Yeah, but everybody who wins at Augusta, unless they win going away, right?
Yeah,
no. Everybody who does is a little lucky. All players will admit that, unless you boat race the field.
Spieth got incredibly lucky at the Open Championship last year.
Right.
To the tune of a half an hour kind of lucky.
It took some time
to
get out that shot. But so many other stories seem to carry the day. I mean, you start with Phil and Tiger. So they play a practice round together on Tuesday. I was there. I watched them do that, some of it. The talk of the tournament, Fred Couples tells everybody, I think either one of those two gentlemen can win it. Should be fun to watch them. Nicholas, Player, they talk about the fact they think that Tiger and Phil are going to make a go of it. And it doesn't happen. Woods had 2 top 5s prior to that, so a lot of people thought, okay, well, he's certainly on track. Phil had already won a tournament, but then by Friday, they're both out of contention. Mickelson matches his worst round with a 79. Woods was in danger of missing the cut. So that storyline doesn't play out. We get the other factors to play out the way we had hoped, and at the end of the day, Rory completely falls apart. And I guess it gets back to a couple things here, and I can completely understand this now, though. There have only been 5 men to ever win the career Grand Slam. That puts you in a heady place. And there's no doubt, speaking of heady, it is in his, because this has now been a place where, look, he's got the game for any course, and he's played exceptionally well at Augusta 4 rounds. In this case, 1, 2, 3 of them this last time. But it's there on the line. That 80 that he had when he had a chance to win the Masters before he eventually did go on to win the following major, which was really impressive back then. That 80, I do believe, will sit with him forever. It doesn't mean he can't overcome it, but it will always be talking to him. And I think when he was wild off the tee at number 1, he looked around completely confused as to what was that. Then he misses the short putt with a chance to tie early. And you can call it a day.
Yeah, that's when he knew that he was fallible, if you will, because he gets out of it on 1. You make par.
I don't know how, but he did.
It's almost like a birdie at that point for momentum's sake. And he bombs the next drive, and then he sticks the shot. It was a 7-iron from whatever 200s down the hill. I texted you in that moment, it's on, because he got over the nerves, I thought. But then they return the moment he pushes that putt. He got so mechanical with the putter yesterday. Everything was very measured, and it was much more feel-based heading into Sunday. So the lesson, all the stuff, all the positive momentum, it all went out the window yesterday. And as somebody who had him in a pool, that was very difficult to watch. I was watching Rory's shots much closer than I was watching other people's shots, and it was all about the putter influenced everything else about him when it came to confidence.
I do think, though, and a lot of players brought this up, and they've brought these kinds of things up in the past. There are people that I've heard talk on the PGA Tour channel and others say, if you're that good, you're of the caliber that we're talking about here with Rory, and you hit a drive that wayward, even if you get out of it, you have a phrase you bring up often about teams that you follow closely and care about, whether it's Florida State basketball or Lightning hockey or Florida State football, anything, Buccaneer football. When you see an effort or a game that is unsettling and it reveals that it's in there, that's in there, you're capable of that.
Yeah, it's in them, yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't just go away because you somehow perform better on the next play, the next game, the next month. It's still in there. You know that's in there, and it weighs heavily. And if you look at Rory's face after the drive on number 1, man, it's easy now because he played terribly. Everybody else is shooting low scores, whether it's obviously we saw what Jordan Spieth did, but Ricky Fowler, birdies 6 of his last 11 holes, and
he's
right
still
there.
in it when we're making the turn here yesterday. He's not out of it by any stretch.
But never, despite being in it, you never felt like he had a chance. And I just think knowing that was in there and that he's guarding against that kind of waywardness, when you scoreboarded off the first tee.
Well, yeah, what the hell was that, you know? But I thought 2 T-ball would tell you a lot, and he hits it perfectly.
It, yeah.
And I think the putt, and it
just turns out to be fool's gold, though. That he got it back there, but then he never got it back again.
Listen, I was rooting for Rory yesterday, and if it were the Ryder Cup like it was 2 years ago, not even close. I mean, I'm rooting for Patrick Reed. He's the enemy we need on our side, right? He's the heel, and it's perfect, and it works so well for the Ryder Cup, and you can embrace that. It's kind of embracing the evil. And kind of like what I want with Tiger, except it's off the course, too, with Patrick in such a way that I don't know, should I be rooting for this guy?
I don't know. He's kind of a strange cat.
I wasn't yesterday, but by the end of it, I wasn't exactly thrilled with Rory. I mean, that's going to affect the way people root for him. Come on, man. You're going to talk smack on Saturday about all the pressures on Patrick, and I don't know that he can handle it. It's the first time he's ever gone through all this stuff, and then you're the one to be small in the moment. That's not good.
I think more than anything, this did something that it's done before. This tournament produced more people becoming sympathetic for Ricky Fowler, who lost by a stroke again. Ricky Fowler has 8 top 10s in a major. He has 3 top 2s in a major.
Well, he hasn't won one, so that means he's finished second 3 times.
So think about the top. I mean, how difficult. Remember the Phil factor. Go back.
Yeah.
We're not at a crisis level now. We're not at a place. I mean, Phil was in his 30s, and we're going, my man.
Right.
I mean, you're the best golfer clearly to have never won a major. And Phil sat up there at that press conference when he was asked about it before finally winning the Masters. And he said, look, guys, it's not about me winning a major. I want to win lots of majors. The changes that I've made to my game aren't about winning a major. I should win lots of majors. And I remember thinking, bravo. I mean, that's a hell of a thing to say, but it's right. It's true. Ricky Fowler yesterday said, oh, I'm ready to win a major. I've been ready to win a major. I performed beautifully today. It just wasn't good enough, but my time will come. Yeah. That's the right answer. I mean, he shot a 65.
Yes.
Are you going to get mad at that?
We're not panicking about Ricky, but I think we've adjusted ourselves in the chair a little bit. Like, okay,
we're getting closer.
Not today.
What's
not
he,
today.
28? So.
He's got plenty of time. And that body type, he's not going to bulk himself up to, injure himself. And yesterday, you're right. Towards the end, it's like Rocky IV,
Come on, buddy.
Freaking
go win it.
Ricky Fowler.
Yeah, go win it, buddy.
And then by the end, because he wasn't even getting the camera time, it was kind of telling the story for you. He was hardly getting. He was an afterthought. It's like, here's Ricky for par, and you're like, okay. 2 holes later, well, it's a birdie. Another 2 holes. Well, no, okay, he's at 11. Okay, he could make this interesting.
He continued
to
play
climbing.
Well. Yeah. He even birdied 18 when you had to have it.
Well, and they finally gave him the camera time. Once he gets to 17, 18, they're like, well, I suppose we should probably, weigh on this guy because Jordan's done, so we have nothing else to do.
The irony here is that our conversation mirrored the conversation of the people on the course, in the announced towers, and everybody surrounding golf. We mentioned very little about the fact that Patrick Reed just won the Masters. We did talk about everybody else who didn't. And I think that's kind of the lot in life that Patrick Reed's going to have, because I don't get the sense there's a ton of people that are racing to line up behind him and support him. And again, I don't know why. There are just enough things out there that people seem to have animosity towards yesterday's winner. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and a full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
The 2019 class. For your 30-day free trial subscription, head to warchant.com and use promo code WARCHANT30.
Games for Less, the only locally owned and operated gaming store in town, has Tallahassee's largest selection of new and used video games and game systems. The future of video gaming is at Games for Less, where they have both the PS4 and Xbox One. It's time to trade in your old systems and elevate your gaming experience now. Games for Less is also your headquarters for the best in retro gaming. Atari 2600, original Nintendo, Super NES, or Sega Genesis, you name it. They got it at Games for Less. Games for Less, the Super Walmart Shopping Center on Appalachia Parkway. Give them a call today at 850-219-3535. That's Games for Less.
Nestled in Midtown Tallahassee, you'll find a piece of old Ireland. Finnegan's Wake Irish Pub. Locally owned and operated, Finnegan's Wake is the only pub in Tallahassee with an authentic Irish bar. Finnegan's Wake offers the largest selection of Irish whiskey in town and pours more Guinness than any bar or restaurant from Pensacola to Jacksonville. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m., Finnegan's offers live music from local and national acts, karaoke, and hospitality nights, and is Tallahassee's premier viewing location for all professional soccer leagues matches. Finnegan's Wake Irish Pub, right off Thomasville Road next to 5th and Thomas. Come join us for a pint, a match, and more stories.
O'Reilly. Defend your vehicle from harmful elements and restore shine with Armor All canister wipes. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up Armor All canister wipes for $3.99. Easily remove dirt, dust, and grime with Armor All canister wipes on sale for $3.99 at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Come watch professional tennis in your own backyard. The 19th annual Tallahassee Tennis Challenger, April 21st through the 28th at Forest Meadows Tennis Center. Rising stars and tour veterans battle for ATP points and a wild card draw into the French Open. Fun for the whole family. Kids 10 and under admitted free. For more information, go to TallahasseeChallenger.com.
Want better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine? Change your oil every 3 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first. You know that sticker on your windshield? Don't look at it now. Wait until the next red light. Okay, check the number on your sticker. Then check your odometer. Is it time? There are 19 Tallahassee area Super Lube locations, which means there's one close to you right now. No appointments, and you're in and out in no time. You can do this today. Super Lube, for better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine.
How I love to Super Lube my car. Yes, sir.
ESPN Radio Sports Center. ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. Some history on the line for LeBron James this week, beginning with tonight's matchup against the Knicks. With a win, James and the Cavaliers will claim the Central Division title, making James the first player ever to be a part of 10 straight division titles. James playing tonight in his 81st game of the season. Said at the morning shoot-around, if he comes out healthy, he'll be available in the regular season finale versus the Knicks on Wednesday, meaning he will play in all 82 games for the first time in his career. Baseball, Giancarlo Stanton, certainly glad to have his first homestand as a member of the Yankees in his rearview mirror. Stanton went 3 for 28, 16 strikeouts in his first 6 games in pinstripes, including an 0 for 7 performance in yesterday's loss. Skipper Aaron Boone says it's just timing and that Stanton will figure it out, a thought echoed by ESPN's Buster Olney.
You've got a guy who does so much damage on fastballs. The fact that that's the pitch that is perplexing him right now tells you it's just a matter of him just calming down, of having some success, of having some ease, because all this is a big adjustment, and I think it's going to take some time for him to settle in.
Buster on Golic and Wingo. Stanton and the Yankees start a 3-game homestand versus the Red Sox tomorrow.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Carlos Stanton struck out for the 5th time on Sunday and left the field at Yankee Stadium to a chorus of boos. He put himself in the record book that moment, by the way. It was Stanton's second 5-strikeout game of the season. The Major League record, they've been playing baseball for a very, very long time. I think most of you are aware of that. You can go back, 1800s. The Major League record for 5 strikeouts in a game is 3 in a season.
Well,
he has 2. We've been playing an hour.
Yes, that's true.
So, my man, platinum sombreros are very rare. You do not find the platinum sombrero all that often.
We've been playing an hour.
I mean, good Christ. What are you doing, my man? There have been 2 other 5-strikeout games this season. Tim Beckham of the Orioles, Chad Wallach of the Miami Marlins. There were 5 in all of 2017. There were 8 in 2016, and there were 3 in 2015. The most 5 whiff games in a career is just 4. Sammy Sosa did that. But Sammy Sosa played from 1990 to 2003. So, you're talking about 4 times he struck out 5 times in 13 years of playing baseball. A man has done 2, like I said, in an hour.
Yeah, this reminds me of the 2012 Florida game here in Tallahassee. The 4 turnovers we could have won with, but that 5th one was a killer. It's the same thing with Stanton. 4 strikeouts. We just needed that 5th one. That would have been all the difference. And he's at the top of the lineup, and they're going to score a lot of runs. So, they're going to turn over the top of the lineup quite a bit at Yankee Stadium this year. He's going to get his chances.
Oh, he's going to shatter this record. A friend of mine just texted in. He would know about this, not from experience, but just because he's been in baseball a long time, that it's called the Olympic rings. Woo! Man, that is something. 2 in a season. Well, look, let's just say it. I mean, we talked about this in the offseason, and I told you, don't take the bet. It's fool's gold, right? Here's the deal. Vegas is going to get a lot of people on this, and I may lose the bet. It's called gambling for a reason.
Because he'll hit 20 in a month.
Yeah, I mean, this is who he is, right? He goes nuts, and he also can be really bad for long periods at a time. This isn't foreign to him. Well, maybe the 5 strikeouts is, but, 4 strikeouts aren't, and going over isn't. Swinging and missing frequently isn't.
That's like the ball coming to you when you're not confident about throwing accurately.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm up again? Oh, God.
It can't be. I was just up. Well, hey, we got a potent lineup. We get around quickly. We're scoring a lot of runs these days. We're going to, not because of you, but we are.
Gee, you're on deck. Oh, no.
So here's, that's not surprising, but that bet was 100 home runs for he and Judge over under, and I said take the under. But the reason I said take the under had less to do with the fact that they both love to strike out. I mean, you'd think it's their job when they're not hitting home runs is to strike out. Never to put the ball in play, never to move people over, never to do anything productive at bat except hit home runs, which when they're doing in bunches can carry you for long stretches at a time. I get it. It's the old Dave Kingman effect, which you got that guy in your lineup, you're like, look, you're there to hit 3-run homers. And if you hit 205 on the season, but you also hit 45 home runs and drive in 120, if I got other guys in the lineup that I can depend on to do those other things, it might just work out, especially if you're my DH in the American League. So, I'm not always so harsh on a guy that swings and misses as frequently as Giancarlo Stanton does because, good, he might hit 50 home runs for you. But the reason I said don't take the bet was because he's also never healthy. And that's the other part, is that he frequently misses long stretches at a time of the season. So,
Maybe he and Judge should just support each other like when a basketball player misses a free throw. So when they strike out, you have to go give them a little dap and say, good job. Softball style.
I mean, it's crazy. I'm looking at some of these numbers. I wanted to find this out. Ray Langford, the most 5 strikeout games in a career is 4. Sammy Sosa, 1990-2003. Ray Langford, remember him? He had 3 with the San Francisco Giants and Chicago Cubs in 1998. That's the most in a single season. Followed by Stanton this year. Jeez, man.
You know the guy who says 162 home run pace for the dude who hits one on opening day?
Right.
Well, what are you on pace for here?
Well, I mean, we see the strikeout record broken these days fairly regularly. So I don't know. I mean, he could shatter it, I guess. But again, if he hits 50 home runs, they'll love him in Yankee Stadium. And maybe they should, depending on what everybody else is doing. Stanton's quote after Sunday's 5 strikeout performance is, I like it. I got to give him credit. He was asked about it, and he said, well, things aren't going well. Bravo, Giancarlo. Yes.
At what point would you boo?
Well, they're already booing.
I know,
they're
but
booing mercilessly.
In a game, in just one game, and the guy's on a way to the platinum or the Olympic rings, as you've just learned.
Well, I would boo for scenarios in which it really hurts us. I mean, it's okay to shorten up. If we're in a tie game and we're past the middle innings, and I've got you know how.
Yeah, you're taking a wiffle ball cut.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, my man, I'm going to need you to move a guy over. We got a runner in scoring position, no outs, and you strike out on 3 pitches swinging out of your shoes.
A ground ball will do.
Yeah, I think I'd boo then. That pisses me off. That pisses me off now. I had that running joke about our man Jackson Luke.
Your eyes changed once you were thinking about it. You're like, Jimbo.
But he's fine now. But I made fun of him. I didn't make fun of him. I got mad earlier this year when he punched
Tough
out
Love
Logan.
Cameron.
Tough Love Cameron made an appearance.
Before you even got to Luke, though, when you said runner in scoring position, your eyes changed, like when Jimbo's would change when he would start to get on something.
Well, and look, I believe in playing for big innings. I'm not a guy who's forever telling people bunt it over and do it and manufacture, especially when I've got a loaded lineup. I'm playing for big innings. I'm trying to beat your ass 14-2. I mean, I'm fine with that, right? Play for big innings, especially early. We got a 1-1 game in the 6th.
Yeah, runner on third.
Yeah, I'm going to need you to come on now. I mean, that's when the booing would
pretty
happen.
much anything but at the corners, and we're golden here.
Yeah, Stanton went on to say when he was asked a follow-up question, it's a bad week. The season is much longer than a week. A couple good games, and I can help us win. Well, I hope. That's a rather low bar. I mean they.
Well, I believe they should hit me 8th, so I won't be able to come up 5 times a game on the regular.
You know, Ryan Howard only had 1 platinum. Only 1.
Probably faced a lefty that day.
He had a lot of golden sombreros.
Oh, yeah.
He is, in fact, the all-time leader of golden sombreros. 26. But Reggie Jackson, by the way, had 22. He only had 1 platinum. Only 1 platinum. At age 28, Stanton has now had 16 platinums. Tied for 8th all-time. So
16.
I wonder, by the way, I didn't know this. This is a fun article. If he can strike out 1 more time in a game and get some lengthy extra innings affair or something like that, or a game in which they score a lot of runs, if he can strike out 6 times in a game, that's only happened in the history of baseball 8 times. It did happen in 2004. That's the most recent. 2004, Jeff Jenkins struck out 6 times for the Brewers. To get 6 strikeouts, you have to get 6 plate appearances. Stanton achieved that only 9 times all of last year, never more than 11 times in a season in his career. So you don't get many opportunities to strike out 6 times.
What would you call that? The Diamond Crown?
I'd call that whiffery at a level that we've never seen.
Whiffery.
I would love it. We'd have to come up with something. It's really, really good. Keep it up, Giancarlo. It's fun to watch.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother, bolder, sharper, comfier, smarter, fiercer, tougher, stronger, longer, greater, prouder. Gravely zero-turn mowers.
Yeah, way back. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Looking for a new place to watch your favorite sporting event? Hobbit American Grill with 3 locations to choose from. Just show them your stub. That's right, your ticket stub from any local sporting event for $1 pints and $3 crafts. BOGO Mondays every Monday with 50% off specials. Like or follow on Facebook to get all the details. PS4 tourneys, trivia, karaoke, darts, and more. Lots of daily lunch specials under $8. Happy hour specials daily and happy hour all day on Friday. The Hobbit American Grill.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee. This is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. Some history on the line for LeBron James this week, beginning with tonight's matchup against the Knicks. With a win, James and the Cavaliers will claim the Central Division title, making James the first player ever to be a part of 10 straight division titles. James playing tonight in his 81st game of the season. Said at the morning shoot-around, if he comes out healthy, he'll be available in the regular season finale versus the Knicks on Wednesday, meaning he will play in all 82 games for the first time in his career. Baseball, Giancarlo Stanton, certainly glad to have his first homestand as a member of the Yankees in his rearview mirror. Stanton went 3 for 28, 16 strikeouts in his first 6 games in pinstripes, including an 0 for 7 performance in yesterday's loss. Skipper Aaron Boone says it's just timing and that Stanton will figure it out, a thought echoed by ESPN's Buster Olney.
You've got a guy who does so much damage on fastballs. The fact that that's the pitch that is perplexing him right now tells you it's just a matter of him just calming down, of having some success, of having some ease, because all this is a big adjustment, and I think it's going to take some time for him to settle in.
Buster on Golic and Wingo. Stanton and the Yankees start a 3-game homestand versus the Red Sox tomorrow.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Number 2, Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio. Hope you had a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We're online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free. Don't miss it. If you do, go get caught up. All 3 hours posted on iTunes and our own audio vault whenever the show ends, which is 6 o'clock. Show ends then. You can email the show if you like. It's JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. On Twitter, it's at JCameronShow. WTSM app, good for mobile devices. It's free. Download it. That way, if you're away from the radio or your computer, you can still listen in on that app for free. That's a good thing. On YouTube, type in ESPN Tallahassee. You can watch us performing our radio duties, and that's a good thing. Duties is usually said, where the word is together, but not the way I just said it.
Sounded like the way, a toddler laughs after he says it.
Yeah. I realized that. There wasn't much flow to the way I pronounced duties. Irashfel, warchant.com, the website. Hello, Ira. How are you, buddy?
I'm great, Jeff. How are you?
I'm very well. What are we going to get on Saturday? Everybody wants to know what this thing's going to look like. And meanwhile, I'm reading your stories on warchant.com. We have no offensive linemen. The running back core is depleted. It's a mess.
Yeah, I'm curious about that myself. We asked Willie Taggart today, if the offensive line was making it difficult because they're so thin on the offensive line, if that was making it difficult to evaluate things on offense, and he wouldn't go down that road. He wouldn't admit that that's the problem, but it's got to be. I mean, they have basically today they had 7 scholarship offensive linemen back, or linemen healthy. So you're talking about all those guys playing both ways. It's just going to be. It was going to be a challenge for those offensive linemen in this system anyway because of the tempo. Now you have them all playing both ways. So I think that's going to be an issue. But as far as how he's going to handle it, we'll have to see. It's not even like they have a bunch of walk-ons. I mean, this is it's a weird situation. They came into camp with like 12 scholarship offensive linemen and I think 1 or 2 walk-ons, and now they have 7 scholarship offensive linemen and 1 walk-on. You can ignore it all you want, but at some point that's a factor.
Yeah, and some of those guys you knew would be sitting out of spring because of injury, but now you've had this this situation continue. It's actually very frustrating because Bavion Johnson and, you have a guy in Juwan Williams. He's been hurt for, 2-3 weeks now? So it's just one by one. I don't know really what you do. You're trying to put on a show. You're trying to impress. There's got to be a feeling of pressure that, you're packing them in. You're telling everybody come back to town. We got the concert afterwards. It's going to be a lot of fun. And at the same time, you're really hamstrung here. So I do wonder what he's going to do. It is just a spring game, so I think people would understand. But man, it's going to be it's going to be odd.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe obviously the tempo is going to be the tempo. That's the one thing everybody wants to see. Is how quickly they can get lined up, how quickly they can execute plays at that tempo. So they can't not do that. My guess is maybe just kind of take some extended breaks between possession and try to give those guys a little bit of time. Because again, I just can't imagine you're going to go. If they have a 12, 15 play drive where you're going up and down the field without a break, and then you're going to just flip the field and go the other way. So I think they're going to have to figure out something for that. Maybe they'll get 1 or 2 of these other guys back, but as of right now, we don't know that. Otherwise, I think it's it's probably going to be a lot like the other scrimmages so far, which has been the defense kind of ruling the day, and my guess we'll probably see a little bit more of that on Saturday.
Could you have a dance-off instead? Could you do something where maybe we run a couple of series and say, so anyhow, guys, that's what it's going to look like when it's all said and done. But we don't have any players, so let's strike up the band.
It'd be like the Harlem Shake. They'll just start playing that song over the loudspeaker, and everybody will just start dancing.
Maybe everybody in the stands as well. I think that'd be awesome. I would love it. Yeah, you could do it. I would like it. Yeah. Well, what's also going on, by the way, with the running backs? Because I think that's an area that we all just assumed was impervious to problems because you have so many good players there. But Cam Akers is on the sideline rehabbing injuries. Zaquandre Wright was not seen in the open portion of practice, is what you wrote. And then you had, I guess you've also had other guys who missed time too. I mean, you got a walk-on out there as well. So this is interesting.
Yeah, the Cam Akers thing, he's definitely out there and he's doing stuff. He just wasn't doing team stuff. He was in the IPF. One of the challenges to kind of covering injuries under Willie Taggart is, and I don't know if this is by design or not. I mean, I'm certain there's a method to the madness, but he has, the injured players, they all suit up like they're going to practice. So I don't know if that's to keep anybody from assuming somebody's injured or guessing, or if it's I think it's that he just wants them to feel like they're part of the team, that they're not off on their own, that they're actually part of the team like everybody else, even though they're injured. But what it does is it makes it a little bit challenging because when we see them come in, they're all dressed. Like Alec Eberle, who hasn't practiced once all spring, every day comes fully dressed for practice. Then they go in the indoor practice facility, and we're kind of like a little bit shielded from that. So it's kind of hard sometimes to see who all is in there and what they're doing. But I did get to see Cam Akers today running around. He was running like he looked fine. So my guess is he got shaken up maybe in one of the last, either the scrimmage or the last practice, and maybe tweaked something. I'm not sure exactly. I don't have anything on the record about it. But he looks fine. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to be anything lengthy. So you'd like to have him back Saturday. He's obviously one of the people that everybody's going to want to see. And then Zaquandre White, we don't know for sure. I mean, he wasn't there. I've heard talk that he might have had some discipline issue, but we don't know anything for certain. And kind of the messed up thing about the way we're doing interviews right now is that we interview Willie Taggart before practice, and then we see the practice. So we really can't ask questions to follow up on what we saw until the next time we talk to him. So, it wouldn't shock me if Zaquandre White's back out there on Wednesday, but otherwise, if he's not, we'll certainly find out from Willie Taggart.
I'm looking at the Garnet roster. I'm looking at the Gold roster, and I have to tell you, I think if I'm a quarterback, either of the two here, I want to be Bailey Hockman because I've got Cam Akers and I've got DJ Matthews, and I believe, do I have this right? Yeah, I got Tamron Terry. So I'm loaded, buddy. That's the team you want to be, is the Garnet team, right? Have you looked at the roster?
Yeah, I glanced at it. I didn't spend a whole lot of time handicapping it, but
I'm breaking it down. I'm trying to win money from people. I'm stealing money out of the crowd, baby.
I do think that that feeling must have been expressed to Willie Taggart because he brought that up on his own today, that a lot of times when you see those rosters that people assume, oh, this team's stacked and that team's got no chance. And it doesn't usually work out that way. So, so we'll see. I also, I'm curious to see what, I guess Francois can't do the team stuff, but I don't know if he'll do it. I wonder if he'll do something of anything. I mean, he does do a lot of things in practice. He moves around pretty good for a guy that's still injured. So, is he just going to be standing on the sideline the whole time, or is he going to get to do anything? So, the whole thing to me is going to be pretty curious.
Who's a guy, Ira, as the game now approaches? I think people like big picture stuff. We know there's only so much you can take away from a spring game, and it's hard to know who's made great advances, who's taken a step back. Who's a guy that the general public would be surprised to hear has played exceptionally well and maybe asserted themselves in a way that we didn't anticipate heading into spring?
I mean, there's a few guys, honestly. And, one of them, I'll give you one on offense and one on defense. One on defense, to me, is DeKalen Brooks, Derek Brooks' son. When he signed, everybody kind of scoffed. He wasn't highly rated. A lot of people felt like Jimbo Fisher was just kind of honoring Derek Brooks and the family by signing DeKalen Brooks. And then he got hurt last year, and I think he had knee surgery. He was out all year. And I think people just, thought he was an afterthought. But he's been – everybody you talk to around the team, from Willie Taggart on the record to other people off the record, say, man, once he puts on a uniform and gets on the field, you see it. You can see that kid's got a chance to be pretty special. And I think he's going to play a ton at that kind of outside linebacker. I think they have a star linebacker position. I think that's what he's going to be at. It's kind of a hybrid. And I think that's, I think he's going to play a ton if he doesn't even just outright start this year. We'll have to see. But on offense, a few people asked Taggart about him today, and it's been noticeable for a week or two. Nasir Upshur, the tight end that we all kind of thought was a miss because he signed, was pretty highly regarded, and just could not get anywhere near sniffing the field his first couple of years here under Tim Brewster. But he's been a different guy this spring. I mean, he's been a guy that in the blocking, the Oklahoma drills, he blocks really well. He catches the ball well. he just seems so much more engaged. I don't know if it was a philosophical thing or personality thing with the previous staff, or if maybe the light just came on after he's been on campus for a couple of years and he's healthy. Whatever it is, I mean, he's been a totally different guy. And again, they've got a lot of tight ends, especially since they moved all those fullbacks to tight end. But I think he's going to play a lot this fall.
How has Trey McKitty played? You got me thinking about tight end, and he's just, when you look at him and the limited number of times I've seen him, I've been really, really impressed. How has he performed?
Yeah, I mean, as a pass catcher, he's unbelievable. You know, I mean, he's a talented kid. He looks like a receiver, and I think in this offense, I think he's got a chance to do really well. The funny thing about him is the fact that, he was originally committed to Willie Taggart in Oregon when Taggart was at Oregon, and then decommitted and switched to Florida State. So now he ended up back with him. So they've liked him from the beginning. Blocking-wise, I mean, he's not going to be as physical as the Nasir Upshur or maybe some of the other guys. But I think as a pass catcher, I think he's going to do a lot of damage in that role.
Always a pleasure, brother. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Be well.
Thanks, Jeff. See you, man.
Take care. IrishFL, warchant.com. And, again, it's going to be fascinating to watch the different roles these guys have to play. There are so many guys I want to talk to him about, whether it's Hamza Nasruddin and what they expect out of him this year on the defense. Just a great player and a guy that has turned heads, of course. And, I can go on down the list. It's good to hear about Upshur, by the way. I should have probably asked about Wally Ame just, being out there on the edge now.
Well, yeah, I would think he'd be your guy to come in on rundowns or against teams that are run heavy. And then obviously you can deploy Burns and let he and Kane Doe rule the day.
Sick 'em.
Yes, exactly, when it's a pass-heavy offense. It'll be interesting. To me, again, I'd like to see how our defense reacts to the tempo. So let's say that we're in a groove, offensively speaking, because this thing goes both ways. You're learning at the same time. So let's say we get into a groove offensively. Are we together? Is everything organized? Because there were moments, lots of them over the last few years where we were not organized if somebody wanted to go up-tempo.
Well, and it was certainly a foreign concept to us because we didn't face it in practice week in and week out. And then, therefore, when teams who had the ability to execute it at a high level, you'd watch us really struggle. I am relieved to know that with the influx of teams that have taken on an offense like this, an up-tempo track, that we are now at least capable of diagnosing and getting lined up, I would think, on a much easier plane because, look, you do it every day at practice. You have to. So by necessity, you're going to have to have learned how to handle that.
But, in the past weeks we've been talking about what we're looking at for the spring game. I was thinking, well, make sure your ducks are in a row on offense, procedure penalties, all that kind of stuff, because you want to go fast and you might end up making a mistake, especially at the offensive line. But it goes for the same, for the defense. You're learning how to deal with tempo, and, the coaching staff has to get the signals in quickly, just like anything else. So there's a lot of details. Again, you talked about it in the first hour, but there's a lot of details we can learn. I don't know that there's an overriding theme that we'll learn from Saturday.
I know the overriding theme so far through this spring in the scrimmages and practices has been that the defense is well ahead of the offense, and I expect that we'll probably see something like that on Saturday too. But that is usually the case, and it's almost always the case, even as we change what we're doing. It does not surprise me to hear that the defense is way ahead of the offense right now. I think Saturday will kind of maybe be disappointing to some people who are looking to see an offense run with a level of fluidity that probably isn't reasonable to expect at this point. I mean, I could see that happening.
No, I agree. I'm not expecting the world to be lit on fire by our offense. If it is, that's great. But if you're rolling into Doak expecting 40, 50 points aside,
the problem,
I don't know.
The problem with offenses like the one we're about to run is that when they're bad, they're horrible. Now listen, the facet to anything that you do, there is always a downside to anything you choose to run. And so I get it. I mean, that's true of any number of things. But when you watch these offenses that want to go, if they can't win first down, or if it's inclement and they can't throw the football around the way they want, you're off the field very quickly. You're putting your defense in a terrible position, and it's paramount that you figure it out and quickly, or else it starts to spiral the other way. You watch, it kind of gets bogged down, gets convoluted, and the next thing you know, we haven't had the ball much this game.
Yeah, you can be up by 2 or 3 scores quickly, or you can be down by 2 or 3 scores very quickly.
Yeah. It's why you have to find a way. Well, listen, There's so much to be done here. I don't want to get ahead of myself. There are things I'm going to love about this. Putting great athletes in space and giving them the opportunity to make plays, simplifying things, getting kids with immense talent on the field rather quickly as opposed to waiting 2 and 3 years for them to figure something out. That's all a bonus, but there are going to be days, 5-hour game days where we're going,
buddy.
Man alive. This is a toughie today.
Glad we don't run those games on the air, right?
Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
TNT. When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Fish. Mike's Marine Supply and Skeeter Boats want to get you out on the open water. They're your local Skeeter dealer, custom rigged with the Yamaha outboards. Stocked with a full line of Skeeter boats from the Bass to the Saltwater Bay series, Skeeter has been recognized for 18 consecutive years as the leader in customer satisfaction for fiberglass outboard boats. Check in at Mike's Marine Supply for the spring specials starting soon. Located at 1296 Coastal Highway, Panacea, Florida, call Mike's Marine at 984-5637, online at mikesmarinetallahassee.com.
From the beginning, they were applauded. The music that sold over 100 million records. Chicago, Friday, May 18th, 7:30 p.m., Donald L. Tucker Civic Center. The music of Chicago.
Does anybody really know what time it is?
Tickets are on sale now at tuckerciviccenter.com. The Tucker Civic Center box office are charged by phone. Chicago.
Need help moving? 2 Men and a Truck Tallahassee provides professional home and business move services, both locally and long distance. For your next move, visit 2men.com or call them at 850-224-2232. 2 Men and a Truck, the movers who care.
Looking for a new place to watch your favorite sporting events? Hobbit American Grill with 3 locations to choose from. Just show them your stub. That's right, your ticket stub from any local sporting event for $1 pints and $3 crafts. BOGO Mondays every Monday with 50% off specials. Like or follow on Facebook to get all the details. PS4 tourneys, trivia, karaoke, darts, and more. Lots of daily lunch specials under $8. Happy hour specials daily and happy hour all day on Friday. The Hobbit American Grill.
At Advance Auto Parts, we offer you the quality parts you want and knowledge you need to help get you back on the road. And we're always looking for ways to help you save. Right now, get CarQuest conventional motor oil for just $2.96 a quart. Talk about an amazing price. Plus, find great prices on CarQuest's full line of motor oil. Go to Advance or participating CarQuest Auto Parts stores to take advantage of this great offer while it lasts. Advance Auto Parts, where oil is priced like it should be.
O'Reilly.
The
Defend your vehicle from harmful elements and restore shine with Armor All canister wipes. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up Armor All canister wipes for $3.99. Easily remove dirt, dust, and grime with Armor All canister wipes on sale for $3.99 at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. Buick GMC Cadillac is back at it, supporting the High School Scholar Athlete of the Month on 97.9 ESPN Radio. Listen every Wednesday to hear our monthly winners. Check them out at Dale Earnhardt.
Race for the National League East.
High fly, deep to left field, back toward the wall. That ball is gone for Freeman.
Atlanta Braves baseball on 97.9 ESPN Radio is brought to you by Metro Deli, Tallahassee's perfect lunch spot, and by AmeriGas Propane, driving every day. Monthly play-by-play schedule available at ESPNTallahassee.com. You're locked in with the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
About the start of the NHL playoffs.
First division title in nearly 15 years, if you can believe it.
Woo-hoo! Well, the Lightning finished first in the East, 54-23-5, and will play the 12th a few days from right now against New Jersey. Get you some Jersey. That'll be nice.
It's a good club. Should be a low-scoring series. It'll be fun.
Gonna need and I don't know if Tough Love has to make his way back onto the show here, but Pollock might need Tough Love to pay a visit. He's awfully young.
Yeah.
But he can't throw the ball over the plate currently.
Let it get through another weekend?
Maybe.
Give him one more. It's like the two parents, like, hang on. Let him work it out.
One more time. I'm going to need Tough Love is waiting in the wings. He's like, I'm here. I'm here if you need me. I'll light up Pollock if I have to.
So I'll be the good cop in this situation.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying that's getting annoying. I think by and large they're probably pretty happy with this team right now. I know that wasn't a good weekend; they lose 2 of 3, but you lose that 2-1 game. If you win that one, you win the series. I know it's a big if, but you've won your ACC series prior to this.
Yesterday,
you fall out of the top 10.
And yesterday was just one of those avalanches. Gets away from you a little bit. You're like, woo, well.
Yeah, that one got ugly in a hurry.
Drop down with double digits today. All right.
That's what's going to happen here. But that's as simple as a bad outing, so you can live with that. Yep. That's actually easier. By the way, I enjoy Chicago. I've been to the city of Chicago upwards of 10, 11 times, maybe more. I've been there a lot. The Pirates are supposed to play the Cubs today. It gets snowed out. It's April the 9th. Man.
Oh, yeah.
You want to talk about a tester. Like, how much do you love your city if on April the 9th it's snowing?
Yeah, it's not a novelty to them like it is for us when it snowed that one day for 40 minutes.
No, and you can handle, you live somewhere cold, you expect that it's going to be cold. And when my brother lives in New Hampshire. I get it. He knows it's cold. Deals with it. But April the 9th, sweet Jesus, man.
Yeah, my boy Kevin, who does the weather for Daily Fantasy over at Roto Grinders is the name of that outlet.
I like Roto Grinders.
Interesting name. But he said there's been 11 postponements in 12 days.
Yeah.
Which is insane. 11 already.
Well, I've said before again, and I know it's far more complicated than what I let on when I make these, frustrated observations about the scheduling for Major League Baseball. I just don't know why so early in the season every year we find ourselves asking the question, why are all these northern teams hosting? That first month of the season, you would want it to be just an inordinate number of games in either domes or in the South. Or in the state of California, or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, it just would stand to reason, and yet series after series. Like, oh, they got snowed out again. Oh, there's sleet and snow again. Well, yeah, that's what's going to happen when you have Chicago taking on Milwaukee the first week of the season. What are we doing?
And you could play it in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
What the hell?
There are plenty of teams in the South in the National League. Send their ass on down the road. Now I know they did. They opened with the Marlins, but I would have I'd say, listen, you're going to stink in the beginning, but it works itself out.
If we get rained out in Atlanta, we get rained out. That's normal. That's what baseball usually sees. Not a blizzard.
I will say that the opening couple weeks of the season sees your New York Mets at 7-1. My Pittsburgh Pirates in first place of the Central at 7-2. It's been a wondrous start. My wife is a Red Sox fan. They're 8-1. They haven't lost since opening day.
Right, and the Rays haven't won since opening day.
Nothing like blowing 5- and 6-run leads late. That will get into your psyche a little bit. They are 1-8. They blow a huge lead. They're already minus 22 in the run differential. It'll be a tough go of it.
You blow leads like that, and you think to yourself, well, we got to be 30 games into the schedule already, right? Oh, we're not even 10 games in. It's going to be a long summer.
We frequently note that there are things about all of the games that we absolutely love and aspects of them that drive us crazy. There's nothing worse than bad bullpens in baseball. I think it's worse than starting pitching problems. It's worse than, if I think in football, of having a sieve for a defense. I think
free throw issues in basketball.
I can live with
down
that.
the stretch.
I don't like it, but I can live with it. You could be a bad free throw shooting team and even win a national title. It happens. But
yeah, if you have a bad bullpen, that's really not a recipe.
You're done.
Yeah. This day and age, especially of starting pitchers turning in a decent outing, and you're like, oh, that was a good outing. He went 5 2/3 today.
I think it's cool, too, whenever stories that emerge in the offseason and curiosities live up to the billing. I'm a big fan of that. I love the influx of storylines that can turn out to be something cool that we begin to track and merge into some form of phenomena, and that's what happened out there with the Angels. You don't really get to see him play. He, along with Jameson Taillon and my Pirates, were named pitchers of the week. But think about this. He's a two-way player, and he's exceeding by now all of the expectations, which were fairly lofty heading over. He's had a home run in each of his 3 games in the Angels lineup this past week. He's a left-handed hitting player. He's a right-handed pitcher. He's currently hitting .389. His slash line's .389, .421, .889. He made his Angels debut on Sunday against the A's, and by the way, he already earned a win against them on April the 1st. He took a perfect game into the 7th inning, finished with just giving up 1 hit and striking out 12, hit a 3-run homer. This you don't see.
Yeah.
This doesn't happen here.
Well, maybe that will get some people to, focus on, cover, and promote the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, because the best player in the world, in Mike Trout, is not able to. He can't overcome playing for the Angels. But maybe this guy will. I'm sure he's a phenomenon overseas, but here, people need to start focusing on this team, if for no other reason than to watch Trout, let alone this kid who's doing some crazy things.
That's just dumb, though, man. I can't imagine coming here and having to make the adjustments to Major League pitching as a hitter and then make an adjustment as a pitcher to Major League hitters and to excel at both. Now, they haven't the book on him, and I got you.
And he had a terrible spring, too, which isn't always an indicator, but still, if it's your first exposure to Major League Baseball, you probably want to have a good spring.
Yeah, well, you would think.
And it was terrible.
But a lot of guys, and I don't know if this is true across the board, but remember, Ichiro used to do things in spring that didn't lead to big numbers because he was working on facets of the game, so much so
Lou
Piniella got furious with him. He wouldn't turn the ball. He would not pull the ball. He spent the first 6 games in spring training with Seattle just hitting the ball the other way, including every pitch and batting practice, so much so that Piniella went, can this guy pull the ball? I mean, he went over to him and asked him, can you pull the ball?
I'm sure he did so calmly, too.
Yeah. And then he did. And then also, do you have any home runs power? And then he promptly hit, like at batting practice, 8 home runs in a row. He just had to let him know, I work on stuff. This is what I do. I'm not really worried about stats in spring training games. I'm trying to do things. John Smoltz talked about, I bring this up all the time, an outing he had where he gave up 7 home runs in 1 inning because he was just working on trying to snap off a breaking ball, and he didn't have the feel for it that day, so he gave up a dinger, and he's like, well, it doesn't matter. It's spring. I'm going to throw it again. He threw it again. It's a meatball down the middle. It gets hit out, and people are like, what's going on with Smoltz? It's like, what's going on? I'm utilizing spring training.
What was crazy, though, is I think if he did have an extra base hit in spring, it was just 1. I mean, he didn't do anything. So people thought, well, they're going to have to ease him in. And it was the talk of the experts who are embedded, out in the West Coast in Scottsdale. And they're still saying, they may want to pump the brakes on this thing, let him pitch. Just let him pitch first and then look out. Here he comes. Out of curiosity, how old do you think Lou Piniella is? It's a good obscure guy who's kind of been detached from the game for a little while.
Had a conversation with Lou Piniella at the World Series when the Marlins played the Yankees. And Bernie Williams hit a home run on this night when I was there. I mean, it's still traveling. But I went to get a beer. I was sitting probably, 15 rows up from home plate.
Yeah, you were sitting with D-Dub's mom, and Jason Biggs was there, right?
Well, he was sitting right by me, yes, which was really weird. Anyhow, I got up, and I went to go get a beer, and there was Lou Piniella, double fisting 2 huge beers, having conversations with fans about his playing days, about managing, about everything. And I thought to myself, well, I love this man. This guy is awesome. He's at the World Series, drinking with the fans, waiting in line to get beers, tall boys at that. It was great.
One of the most underrated things that local TV has ever done, like local sports programming. In Tampa Bay, they had this coaches as just a long-form discussion. It was a round table down Bright House 47.
Nice. Yeah.
And it was Lou Piniella, John Gruden, and John Tortorella of the Lightning. And you talk about 3 characters.
Just sitting there talking about, oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the cutting floor had some immense F-bombs and everything in between.
Lou Piniella is, I didn't know this until I met him, is a big dude. You wouldn't, to look at him,
no, because he looks frumpy.
No, you can see the athlete in him, hands, what he was. The hands are, big, strong dude. Not having it. And apparently was an incredible basketball player in high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like an all-world athlete across the board.
Well, that's like Andrew Chuck, the Lightning captain who hoisted the cup. Shook his hand a few years back
and
now.
You thought, my God.
Well, it had a ridge in it because it was broken so many times, which was disgusting. But he had this vice grip. Yeah. When you just shake his hand, and it was a normal one. He's just not trying to impress us. Hey, how you doing? I'm like, oh, my God. He and Anquan Bolden would have one hell of a crush your hand contest.
I can't wait till Anquan and Steady coming back to Tallahassee to watch games and embrace the way so many former Florida State players are now doing. It's one of the coolest things about what Willie Taggart has done, and kind of invoking the past, but also getting the enthusiasm surrounding the program for that era of FSU football, which is what this Saturday is all about in truth. And now, this week, Jameis not from that era, but came back this week. And I know he's hosting a golf tournament, but he went over to practice too. There's no doubt the positive momentum and the players from the past all the way to the ones most recent have picked up on the vibe that Willie Taggart has been sending, and they're buying in hook, line, and sinker, and coming back to support and really kind of rally a level of support and enthusiasm for the program that is rubbing off on recruits. It's amazing to watch.
Yeah, again, you put this picture out there, me too, on social media when Willie was first hired. But Jameis and Willie do have some sort of relationship that predates.
USF, yeah.
Right, so they were involved, I guess, in the community in Tampa, but Jameis used to happen by USF practices.
And it's a cool picture of those two hanging out
they
at the
look
time.
like they're actually okay with taking the photo.
I would think. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9.
You got a guess on Lou Piniella's age?
74.
You're so good. That's exactly right.
Is that right?
He is 74.
I feel good.
Years old.
That is so good. You're right, I am. Let's go to break on that.
TNT.
to do what I want to do when I want to do it.
I decided on Mahindra just because of the sheer strength, the size, the ease of the workability, and it was more of a comfortable machine than the others.
You could lift just about anything with that thing. It has never let me down.
And now get the industry's best 7-year limited powertrain warranty on select models.
TNT.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Hey, this is Travis with Parker Brothers Roofing. No one besides us wants to hear that you need a new roof. It's one of the biggest home improvements you have to make, and Parker Brothers Roofing understands. We now offer financing for 0% over 60 months. Yes, that's 5 years. Call us today for 5 years interest-free financing on that new roof. 656-8112. That's 656-8112, or go to parkerbrothersroofing.net.
Parker Brothers Roofing, professional every time. Stay safe and dry inside.
License number CCC 049350.
Commercial lawnmowers don't have odometers, but if they did, you might be surprised to see you could be mowing thousands of miles a year. That's why Gravely zero-turn mowers are built for the long haul. So when you're mowing the equivalent of Miami through Kentucky bluegrass country, all the way to Seattle, and back again every year, you can count on your Gravely zero-turn mower to get the job done, mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Over 150 new zero turns in stock. Visit TNTSupercenter.com to view inventory and pricing. In Thomasville, Georgia.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to give you special savings on the toughest tractors and utility vehicles on earth during the Mahindra Red Tag Sale. Hurry in for up to $7,900 in cash back and red tag savings. Only from Mahindra.
Up to $7,900 in cash back savings. Visit TNTSupercenter.com to view selection.
Offer with approved credit. See dealer for details. Program restrictions may apply.
In Thomasville, Georgia.
Wahoo Seafood Grill, Tallahassee's leader in fresh seafood, is located right behind the Best Western on North Monroe. Lunch specials start at $7.99. Be sure to try their award-winning house-made burger. Big lunch parties are also welcome. Wahoo Seafood Grill makes lunch specials a very affordable choice. Delivery is available and plenty of parking. Wahoo Seafood Grill, easy access from any part of town using I-10. Visit them online at wahooseafoodgrill.com or call them today at 850-629-4059.
Come watch professional tennis in your own backyard. The 19th annual Tallahassee Tennis Challenger, April 21st through the 28th at Forest Meadows Tennis Center. Rising stars and tour veterans battle for ATP points and a wild card draw into the French Open. Fun for the whole family. Kids 10 and under admitted free. For more information, go to TallahasseeChallenger.com.
I give to you easy laundry service from my friends at Wash Around the Clock. Oh, buddy, this is a game changer. If you're like me, your life is hectic. Between work, school, your kids' sporting events and activities, well, it leaves you precious little time to kick back and take a load off. About the last thing you want to do is hours of laundry, but there it sits, staring at you, taunting. No more. That's right. More watching, less washing. Save hours of valuable time when you sign up not doing laundry with easy laundry service from Wash Around the Clock. Whether it's dry cleaning or just plain laundry, Wash Around the Clock's easy laundry service will pick up and deliver at your home or office. So sign up for free today at easylaundry.net, or you can give them a call, 850-597-9007. Again, sign up today at easylaundry.net. Oh, and by the way, I got you. Use promo code JCS20 and save 20%. That's promo code JCS20. You're saving 20% on your first order. That's easylaundry.net from Wash Around the Clock.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. Some history on the line for LeBron James this week, beginning with tonight's matchup against the Knicks. With a win, James and the Cavaliers will claim the Central Division title, making James the first player ever to be a part of 10 straight division titles. James playing tonight in his 81st game of the season. Said at the morning shoot-around, if he comes out healthy, he'll be available in the regular season finale versus the Knicks on Wednesday, meaning he will play in all 82 games for the first time in his career. Baseball, Giancarlo Stanton, certainly glad to have his first homestand as a member of the Yankees in his rearview mirror. Stanton went 3 for 28, 16 strikeouts in his first 6 games in pinstripes, including an 0 for 7 performance in yesterday's loss. Skipper Aaron Boone says it's just timing and that Stanton will figure it out, a thought echoed by ESPN's Buster Olney.
You've got a guy who does so much damage on fastballs. The fact that that's the pitch that is perplexing him right now tells you it's just a matter of him just calming down, of having some success, of having some ease, because all this is a big adjustment, and I think it's going to take some time for him to settle in.
Buster on Golic and Wingo. Stanton and the Yankees start a 3-game homestand versus the Red Sox tomorrow.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
But was made to feel better over the weekend. Former Houston Oilers, Tennessee Titans offensive lineman Brad Hopkins was my co-host for a show I did on Saturday morning on ESPNU, and we were talking about the quarterbacks in the draft, and I was picking his brain about a lot of things involving quarterback evaluation, and it happens to coincide with an interesting article today from Bill Barnwell, ESPN.com, regarding that history tells us the NFL is simply terrible at evaluating quarterbacks coming out of college, and there's ample evidence for that.
This is true.
And that's why, no matter how, and, listen, in this line of work, what we do is certainly posit any number of things that turn out to be true or not or somewhere in between, and you're going to whiff and you're going to get some things right. You're going to look like a genius sometimes and a buffoon others. But I think none more than when we talk about quarterbacks, and we've got a good history, you and I, on this show together.
Yeah.
We tend to look for the same things. I mean, for example, we were both huge on Russell Wilson. Both thought Russell Wilson was a can't-miss prospect at a time when people had serious doubts because of his height.
Well, yeah, he was so tiny, but it wasn't about his speed, even though that was a factor on Saturdays.
No, it was about the throws from the pocket.
Well, and he had eyes in the back of his head. That's just something you can't teach, and it makes all the difference in an NFL game, buying the extra quarter second.
Pocket awareness, accuracy, arm strength, intelligence, and then you threw in the athleticism. We thought he could overcome the size deficit that he has at the position, and it turned out to be true. Now, sometimes you guess that. It turns out to be right, really right in that case. Other times, completely wrong. You for example, are a big Colt McCoy guy. But
given the right situation, I don't know.
You're still hanging in there on that one.
Well, he was all right.
So
I didn't say he was the best quarterback in the draft.
I'm just busting.
We liked Carr. I liked Glennon as a 3rd or 4th round pick. I thought, well, there's your average quarterback that's worth taking a risk on.
You're run-of-the-mill backup.
Right,
we didn't love him. Right.
Wins above replacement. There's your replacement level player.
Yeah. But, and there have been plenty we got wrong too, and there's still some that jury's still out. We don't know yet. And it does take a little time. That's the other aspect of evaluating quarterbacks. Anymore, we're in a real hurry to figure out if a guy can or cannot play. It is now, right? It is partly because it has to be, partly because enough guys have come into the league and had success rather quickly. Matt Ryan kind of started a trend of guys that came into the league and did very well almost right away. And once that happened, it showed certainly that it was possible. The rules are in favor of quarterbacks succeeding if they've got the ability to read a defense and process information quickly because you can't touch them. So they're going to be around. They're not getting beat up the way they once did back in the day where they were trying to test your mettle in the 80s and early 90s. They just beat guys to half to death to find it. Troy Aikman was beaten half to death on that 1-15 team, the Dallas Cowboys, and concussed thoroughly, and then, proved that he could handle the beating and went on to have a Hall of Fame career.
Maybe 3/4 to death, yeah.
But that was kind of the proving ground back then, was they just hit you. I mean, it's just like really, really late because you could. That's no longer in play. So guys are going to get opportunity. I mean, Andy Dalton's still in the league doing pretty well. And he's freaking Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
I mean, who are we kidding here? But he
same
never
coach,
gets,
same quarterback. It'll be the same thing in 2030. Marvin Lewis and Andy Dalton.
But here's the thing. He never gets hurt because he's just never touched. Nobody can touch these guys anymore, so they'll be out there, and you're just free to be average for a decade. But anyhow, all of that said, when I was talking to B-Hop, he told me.
Oh, boy.
Well, he actually affirmed my suspicion. I hate this draft for quarterbacks. The only one I really like is out of UCLA. And I don't feel like I can trust him to stay healthy. And I know Sam Darnold is a guy that everybody says has all of the throws, and that's
yeah. You just never see it.
I know. Well, not enough. I didn't see it enough, right?
Yeah.
So I don't like any of the other guys. I mean, okay. I like Baker Mayfield, and I have liked Baker Mayfield because I think he's an accurate passer, but he's 6 feet tall, and he ran a system certainly that doesn't translate, although that is changing now, and that's why you can't count those guys out, is the NFL is incorporating those things.
Correct. I kind of like Mason Rudolph as, a mid-round project pick because of his pocket awareness, and also you can't teach it. It's like with Jameis and Big Ben in terms of the toughness, and people just bounce off that dude. So he'll have opportunities to extend plays. Again, I don't want one in the first round, but if I'm going to take a chance and I have a quarterback for 2 or 3 seasons and I got to groom the next one, take a flyer on that guy.
Yeah, I don't love him. So you and I don't completely disagree with you because I don't think there's anything wrong with taking a flyer on that guy in the 4th or 3rd
yeah, if you
round.
can get him around 80, 90, somewhere in there.
But somebody's going to pick him either late in the 1st or early in the 2nd. No. That's not what we're doing here.
He can't make it up to the 1st, can he?
There's an outside chance we set a record for the draft class this year. There are 5 quarterbacks who may come off the board day one of the draft. That would tie the 1999 draft for the second most since the merger. The only draft to post 6 first-rounders is that legendary class of 1983. And that had 3 Hall of Famers and Dan Marino, John Elway, and Jim Kelly. This draft is not going to be mistaken for that draft. That is for sure. But you could see something crazy like that because, obviously the premium on the position. You could win football. Back in the day in 83, now I'll grant you those 3 guys went on to become Hall of Famers. But the NFL was very different. You could win Super Bowls with an average quarterback. You really could. It happened frequently, so long as everything else was in play. Anymore, it can happen. I mean, I think you can argue you just saw that happen. Nick Foles is not going to be mistaken for Tom Brady. Now, he played great, and that system was right.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's Nick Foles. Let's not get crazy. That is a perfect system for that team, and that worked out well.
It is, but his rating is off the charts in that system. I mean,
he's really good in it.
It could be 3 or 4 years later we look back at it like Kurt Warner was discounted in the moment.
Sure.
I'm not saying that he's on his way to being Kurt Warner. All I'm saying is allow for the possibility because it might be system and quarterback meet at the perfect time in 3 or 4 years from now, wherever he goes. If he runs a similar
Carson
system.
Wentz is going to be starting there next year, so it won't matter.
Right. But
I mean, Nick Foles was about to retire.
Yeah.
He was out of the league, basically, in his mind. And this worked out. Anyhow, he would be kind of the exception. Now, maybe he goes on to do that.
They got to run that system. If it's an under center, old school pro style, you got no chance.
It ain't working. But this draft, when I look at it, I go, and this is ridiculous because I would discount my opinion if I were listening to it driving down the road when I say what I'm about to say. My gut tells me none of these guys are going to be kicking ass and taking names 7 years from right now, right? And so why would you say that? Well, here's the deal. If I draft you at quarterback number 1 or 2 or 3 in the first round, I'd like to know you could be my starting quarterback 5, 6, 7 years from now, and I don't think any of them. I don't like. No. Whereas even Mariota, when we were talking about Winston Mariota, I obviously favored Winston, not just because he's a Knoll, but he is the better quarterback. But I still told you at that time that Mariota was unlike any of the other Oregon quarterbacks, and I thought he had a chance to succeed in the league and be a starting quarterback and maybe even be better than average. I did say that.
Well, I mean, he has been put in the ideal situation, and the results have been mixed.
2 years ago, he was really good. Last year, not so much.
But he has been put in an ideal situation. Good offensive line, good ground game.
Yeah.
The book, I agree. There was a chance.
Yeah,
when he was drafted, there was a chance.
Because he had great arm strength. He was accurate with the football.
It's a much smaller chance than the number 1 overall pick, but there was a chance.
That is correct. So when this group, I guess when you look at this crop, you go, are any of these guys either of those two guys or any? I mean, it just doesn't.
Well, admittedly, when I pull the Rudolph card, I'm thinking, well, maybe he was a mid-round guy.
But that said, we just watched Carson Wentz be really, really good, and we didn't know anything about Carson Wentz. I mean, we knew who he was.
He was highly touted,
without question. Just like Josh Allen is highly touted this
right.
year. But how many Josh Allen games have you watched? I'm being completely honest. I even like Wyoming.
Yeah, I know. I
I
haven't heard from my dad on Josh Allen, but I did on Wentz because he will watch those kinds of crazy games, and he's like, hey, this guy, look at this Wentz guy. He's actually a pretty good player. I think he's the best one in the draft that year.
The Barnwell article goes on to talk about a league full of coaches and personnel executives who had spent and would go on to spend the majority of their lives working in the game of football were not able to pick between a trio of Hall of Famers and two guys who would fail to make a single Pro Bowl. Ken O'Brien, drafted after Eason and before Marino, at least made 2 Pro Bowls in his 10-year career. And he's talking about the guys that went, and the debate, Kelly Blackledge.
Todd, yeah.
Well, Todd Blackledge. Sorry, what did I say? Kelly Blackledge. There's a Kelly Blackledge, which is another sport. My apologies. Todd Blackledge. Yeah, through 29 career touchdowns. Again, Tony Eason.
Never heard of Tony Eason. He didn't have a broadcasting career.
He was with the Patriots, and it's whatever.
He's a bust.
I guess you would say that, but I mean, and he goes on down to go, and there's more documentation that he'd say, I'm not sure we've gotten that much better. That kind of difference of opinion between personnel executives in a league full of coaches over guys that should be obvious continues to this day.
I hear you. I think desperation does weird things, though, doesn't it? I mean, because you'll take a chance on somebody with the better measurables when you're desperate. I think that, and again, you're also, it's not like the best team in the world is the one that drafts first. The ones with the dysfunctional front offices are the ones that draft first. So, if you've got bad ownership and a bad team president, you're less likely to draft good quarterbacks anyway. I think some of it is self-fulfilling, I guess, is the short way to put it.
But it's also weird, too. Like, the momentum built up in the press does actually have an effect on people who should know better. See the Dallas Cowboys owner who was desperate to draft Johnny freaking Manziel when I thought almost anybody could see that guy has no chance. I know it's Jerry Jones and he's kooky, but that's nuts,
that's
right?
Still, oh my.
And the difference of opinion between what Josh Allen will be is, they'll talk about him being potentially Carson Wentz, and then you hear other executives say, well, he's a lot like Jake Locker. He'll wash out. He'll be out of the league.
Jake Locker. Now, there's a name.
Well, how quickly did that happen? They talked about him being the best athlete at the position that they'd ever seen.
Overnight, yeah.
Yeah. He's
Tebow with an arm, right?
Yeah. Just sorry, both of them. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Standing on the corner with a nickel or a dime, there is
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
TNT Supercenter is your one-stop shop for the largest inventory of golf carts and accessories, stocking over 150 new and pre-owned carts with prices starting under $2,000. Whether you're looking for a standard or custom golf cart, TNT has the perfect cart for you. TNT carries and services leading brands and the full line of premium Mad Jacks accessories. Stop by or call to find out about our zero-down, low-interest rate financing, free delivery, and rental programs. Visit TNTSupercenter.com.
TNT. Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
A DVD player for the back seat at no charge.
No charge? Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep really knows how to throw a party.
You bet they do. Save the date, Saturday afternoon, April 14th. And don't worry, it'll be over in time to get to the spring football game. Right, Gene?
Right on the corner. And always right on the price.
And now Jeff and Eddie waste my time instead of recording a commercial.
And then you decided to sell it. And I always thought you should keep it.
You know, I wanted to keep it.
It was perfect. It was perfect. Why wouldn't you keep that?
It wasn't the right color.
It was perfect. I tell
know.
everybody to this day, you should have seen the other one. You should have seen the other one. It was incredible. Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Commercial lawnmowers don't have odometers, but if they did, you might be surprised to see you could be mowing thousands of miles a year. That's why Gravely zero-turn mowers are built for the long haul. So when you're mowing the equivalent of Miami through Kentucky bluegrass country, all the way to Seattle, and back again every year, you can count on your Gravely zero-turn mower to get the job done, mile after mile. Gravely, built to mow the distance.
Over 150 new zero turns in stock. Visit TNTSupercenter.com to view inventory and pricing. In Thomasville, Georgia.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to give you special savings on the toughest tractors and utility vehicles on earth during the Mahindra Red Tag Sale. Hurry in for up to $7,900 in cash back and red tag savings. Only from Mahindra.
Up to $7,900 in cash back savings. Visit TNTSupercenter.com to view selection.
Offer with approved credit. See dealer for details. Program restrictions may apply.
In Thomasville, Georgia.
Are you ready to experience an awesome fishing expedition? Sea Quarters Marina is home to several great charter services. All charters are customized based upon the types of fishing opportunities available and the type of fishing the customer requests. The Northwest Gulf Coast offers a variety of different angling adventures thanks to unspoiled back county islands and crystal clear flats. For more information regarding charters, call Sea Quarters Marina at 697-8400 or online at seaquartersmarina.com.
I was driving in my car and I smelled a number 5 with fries. Hadn't stopped for lunch, made me realize it was just my ride. Oh no. But with the new Febreze car, I got it under control. Now they come in light or bold, choose how you roll. Febreze car, roll with me and breathe happy Febreze. La 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 la.
Driving every day from the AmeriGas studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is 97.9 ESPN Radio, WTSM, Woodville, Thomasville, Tallahassee.
Now, it's time for your Atlanta Braves update.
Yesterday in Colorado was the rubber game in a series of 3 between the Braves and the Rockies, a matchup of a couple of young left-handed pitchers, Kyle Freeland for the Rockies, Sean Newcomb for the Braves, and Sean Newcomb stole the show. 6 innings, 9 strikeouts, no runs, not a single walk either. That tied a career high for strikeouts in a ball game, and the Braves got some run support for Newcomb halfway through the game. They found a way to go back-to-back with Nick Markakis and Dansby Swanson.
And the payoff pitch is socked to left center, up into that wind. Way back. That one's gone for Dansby Swanson. Back-to-back jacks from Markakis and Swanson. It's 3-0 Braves.
After 6 innings from Newcomb, the Braves bullpen slammed the door. They went on to win the ball game 4-0, and it was the first time the Braves shut out the Rockies in Denver at Coors Field since April 18, 1997. So the Braves are now 6-3 through their first 9 games of the year. The road trip continues as they head to our nation's capital to take on the Washington Nationals tonight. 7:05 Eastern, 6:05 Central with the first pitcher on the Braves Radio Network. A matchup of opening day starters, Julio Teheran for the Braves and Max Scherzer for the Nationals. I'm Ben Ingram, and this has been your Atlanta Braves Radio Network update.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. Some history on the line for LeBron James this week, beginning with tonight's matchup against the Knicks. With a win, James and the Cavaliers will claim the Central Division title, making James the first player ever to be a part of 10 straight division titles. James playing tonight in his 81st game of the season. Said at the morning shoot-around, if he comes out healthy, he'll be available in the regular season finale versus the Knicks on Wednesday, meaning he will play in all 82 games for the first time in his career. Baseball, Giancarlo Stanton, certainly glad to have his first homestand as a member of the Yankees in his rearview mirror. Stanton went 3 for 28, 16 strikeouts in his first 6 games in pinstripes, including an 0 for 7 performance in yesterday's loss. Skipper Aaron Boone says it's just timing and that Stanton will figure it out, a thought echoed by ESPN's Buster Olney.
You've got a guy who does so much damage on fastballs. The fact that that's the pitch that is perplexing him right now tells you it's just a matter of him just calming down, of having some success, of having some ease, because all this is a big adjustment, and I think it's going to take some time for him to settle in.
Buster on Golic and Wingo. Stanton and the Yankees start a 3-game homestand versus the Red Sox tomorrow.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Monday to you and yours. I'm Jeff. That's Tom. We are online, ESPNTallahassee.com. That's where you go to listen live via the streaming free always. If you missed something, we'll post all 3 hours both to our website, ESPNTallahassee.com, and on iTunes. Go to iTunes, get caught up at your leisure. You can email the show if you like. It's JCS at 979ESPNradio.com. I'm on Twitter at JCameronShow. Also on Twitter at _Tom Lang. Also on Twitter at 979 ESPN Radio, where you can Periscope the show. Hey, Periscope. Did I say YouTube? ESPN Tallahassee. There you go. Look at my watch is calling me.
So many instruments.
What's going on? It's crazy everywhere now.
You just got me like 9 more followers, man, and that matters greatly to me. In fact, that's how I define success as a person. So thank you.
Well, and it's a good way to do it. You know, I think
it really is. There's correlation there, isn't there?
I think being at the whim of strangers is important as a guiding tool in your life.
Yes.
And opinion shaping about all things. Twitter, perfect for it.
I got to tell the people
absolutely
what I'm thinking.
Perfect for at all times.
They
Take
care.
pictures of it too.
Well, they care.
That's what the selfie's for, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
It also will, I think, at that point, reveal your emotion of the moment and where you are, and maybe even what you're eating. It's so important. We share that. Hey, the Noles lost 2 of 3 to Georgia Tech, but you guys don't care about that because you care about tomorrow night's game against the University of Florida, whom we haven't beaten in baseball since 1994. A little-known fact. 1994, the last time we beat Florida State in baseball. Well, it has been a long time.
Yeah. I wouldn't argue with that. I'm not sure. But
don't look it up.
Okay.
It's accurate. We haven't beaten them since 1994. So that'll be a big one tomorrow,
I feel
as
like
it always is.
Gary Koch from NBC Golf should call our games. So just, well,
yeah. Let's see.
That's not going to do it.
Isn't Gary the one you love most because he's already seen what's happened and he pretends that he hasn't, and he goes, let's go to number 12.
Oh, he's the worst.
Well, Vern, this is a 17-footer from right to left. We'll see.
Yep, they've been missing him.
They've been missing him. They've been missing him on the high side though today. They just don't see that It's almost right at it. It's almost right. Look at this. Oh, and he's made it. First time today. That is something.
Yeah,
it happened 15 minutes ago.
They usually don't play the right amount of break here. Well, yep, that's what happens. Yep, there's another one. This was a moment ago,
you
dude.
saw this already,
Yep,
man.
well.
Come on. It actually kind of works, though. I mean, it does, because you're like, oh, well, let's see. He catches you, and you're like, oh, he already knows. There's no chance. Haven't had a birdie on number 4 all afternoon. Let's see if we can get one here. Well, let me guess.
Well, sure.
Center Cup, pal.
Listen, we all get the drill. If it's Sunday at the Masters and Xander Schauffele is 180 away on the par 4.
Let's go to Xander Schauffele in the middle of the fairway.
Right.
Why are we going to Xander Schauffele on a Sunday or ever?
However, Gary Koch takes it to a new level. I mean, that would be like you
That's good.
throwing on the 2013 championship game for your kids. And you're like, well, I really think they might go with a slant here to Benjamin, kids. You know, that just seems to be the right play. Well,
look at that. Look at that. Well, it was a good guess. It's such a reliable play.
Great call, Dad.
So the point would be tomorrow is the game against Florida. Against Florida. We're Florida State, the one that hasn't beaten Florida in baseball since 1994. And this week, Saturday, is, of course, something I am very much looking forward to, and that is the spring game. Although we did note in the first hour that with all of the injuries and just the general way spring games play out, I don't know what to expect. I'm still excited. I'm still excited because my fellow Noles are excited. The people of this community are excited. That's going to be fun over there. It should be a good time.
Over under on a Monday afternoon or evening now. Over under 41,000 people on Saturday at the spring game.
I don't know. I'm terrible at these things because Jimbo's first spring game here as head coach, I remember Tom Block and I were talking in the parking lot. I'm name dropping Tom Block. That's how I roll. So we were hanging out in the parking lot, and he was doing a thing for, I guess, what is now Seminoles.com. I don't know if it was back then. But they were videoing, and he was walking around being the consummate professional that he is, and he was talking to people. And he said, hey, let's talk to this guy. He's a local talk show host. And so they came over to me. And I've known Tom forever, so it was great. Of course, obliged. If it had been anybody else, no way, no how.
Like Keith.
Yeah, no way. So I said, sure. And I did that interview. And we thought at that time that it could be, I don't know, like the talk leading up to it was it could be something crazy like the folks at Alabama, those losers who go to everything, whether it's just like if Nick Saban was jogging, from goal line to goal line, and it was announced that he'd be doing so that Saturday, a week out, the place would sell out, right? It would. So we make fun of that all the time. But I really thought we'd get like 50, 55, 60,000. I don't think we were anywhere close. They may have lied and said we were, but I don't think so. I don't think we were anywhere close to that.
Well, 40 you can kind of tell. You can do the math in your head and see if the place is half full or not. I mean, that's why I'm choosing that instead of 27.5.
Well, I don't know what to expect. Given the location of Tallahassee and the difficulties of getting here, the sorry-ass airport we have.
It's about the locals.
All of the issues.
It's about the locals.
How many of the locals come out is really what it's about. You're right. And I don't know, man. I'm going to say 30,000.
Okay, so you do. You're choosing the under by a wide margin. I thought maybe Vanilla Ice might attract more people.
Salt and Pepper would win that battle, right?
Probably, yeah. Unless Vanilla drops down with a ninja rap.
I've got one for you. That from a terrible movie, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
2, Secret of the Ooze.
Yeah, second one, yeah. The better of the two, frankly.
Oh, it was good. TGRI.
That said, over under on songs played by Vanilla Ice. It's a good one, right? That's a real good one. Think about that. I think it's really difficult.
5.5? You think that's too long? Is it just Vanilla Ice, or is it
personally? That's way too long. I mean, how many?
Is it just Vanilla Ice, or are they all together on stage, and then they just kind of 2 of them sit down, and then one comes up for a couple of minutes, and then they rotate?
I don't know how it works. I didn't go to the tour when it was here the last time, right over there at the open air mall that's no longer doing any business.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that place that failed.
Right.
I wanted it to succeed. I'm not saying.
Hey,
that
man, the movie
cynically.
theater's still kicking ass. That's all that matters.
Well, and they're building 2 new ones. There's the giant one over by Costco that every time I see, I purposely annoy the hell out of my wife. It's awesome. This is really, truly something that I do every single time because now I know it really bothers her. When we go to Costco as a family, as you're wont to do,
right?
We go, and every time we pull in the parking lot, I go, look at that. What are they building over there? Because it's huge.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it's a movie theater because it's been being built for a long time. And she'll always go, that's the movie theater. I told you that last time. So I wanted to see how long I could do it before she finally got furious. And the answer was the last time was the last time. That was it. She finally got mad.
What do you think?
I go, look at that. What are they doing over there? She goes, I've told you.
Yeah. Well, there's an acceptance at some point. That's like you in the hotline.
Oh, yeah, I'm just never going to remember the hotline.
It's been 5 years. You're not going to remember it.
Well, part of it is I don't care to remember the hotline number.
Right,
because
that's it.
The other thing is that I can give you one of any number of numbers to get into the studio. It doesn't have to be the hotline number. I have a number that I do know that will reach me in the studio, so it doesn't matter.
May or may not be the prize line, but yes.
But anyhow, I mean, I can do that, so it doesn't behoove me to learn the other one. That's just clutter. So that's why that happens. I don't know. I'm saying Vanilla Ice, 3 songs.
Okay.
4 songs. I'm going under the
solo.
5.
These are solo songs.
I mean, he's not a band. They don't play their own instruments.
No,
it's not
there's
like
no
he's
Salt and Pepper or Rob Bass. That's what I'm like. They're not doing a collaboration.
I would
listen.
Well done. I would think he'd have to. I think they would have to, right, in celebration. They could surprise us. If Young MC suddenly rolled out there during the encore, and they're like, it's Young MC. Well, my God, Bust a Move is going to be played here tonight. This is just perfect. Then that would be something. That's what I'm hoping for. But I would think so. Salt and Pepper is different though. They had a lot of hits, so you could go with 7 Salt and Pepper hits.
Oh yeah,
Rob Bass and DJ Easy Rock. One of them's dead. So one of them won't be here because he's dead.
Well, I think Rob Bass is the alive
dead?
one. No,
he's alive. So Rob Bass will be here. Easy Rock can't make it. He died. So
unless he and Tupac want to rock the place.
No, so Rob Bass can only sing 2 songs. I mean, I guess he could do 4, but that's pushing the envelope.
What does the contract say?
So I'm saying 2.
To get some new material out there.
Salt and Pepper do 8 songs, 7 songs. They're the crux of the thing. That's pushing it. But 6-7 songs, and then you're going to give Rob Bass 2, Vanilla Ice 2 to 3. We're calling it a night.
Are you sticking around?
No. But
not even for the novelty of it?
No. Not even being a snob, just no, man. I mean, I'm good. I'll see the football. It's time to ride. We'll be good to go.
Oh, no.
No.
That was not just a no. It was, no. I'm offended by the question, but I'm going to let it go this time.
No, I'm not going. I'm not. Well, I mean, I am going, but I'm not going to stick around for the dancing.
Field passes? No.
I could use my field pass.
They were selling field passes for it. Sold out, I think.
They were selling field passes for
the concert?
Oh, to be down by the stage.
Oh yeah.
What?
All right, get after it.
This ain't no Travis Tritt show, Tom. Maybe then I'd swing some deal with our Pepsi friends.
You'd have to call in a couple of favors.
I have bastardized the opening segment. I didn't get to anything you wanted to talk about. All right. Sorry about that, everybody. I will in the next segment. I promise. Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
It ain't bragging if it's true.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Smoother. Bolder. Sharper. Comfier. Smarter. Fiercer. Tougher. Stronger. Longer. Greater. Prouder. Gravely Zero-Turn Mowers.
Hard to expect a lot for Saturday, given the fact that they're down to 7 linemen. 7 guys. That's the kind of injury bug that has hit Florida State on the offensive line. That is a problem when you're running up-tempo. So I don't know what to expect there. One of the guys that's competing for the starting quarterback job, we well know, is not going to play. And so, again, I think defense will rule the day. We've had problems at running back, and what I mean by that is, while there is no shortage of talent at the position, a few guys have missed time due to injury there. Cam Akers didn't participate yesterday or today. You don't know.
Is it the penance for the 2013 season and being so healthy in the offensive line when you really didn't have anybody?
Just a rash of, injuries seem to be that way, right? It's you have these seasons where, and I'm not saying this is what this is going to be. It's kind of plagued the situation here. And for spring practice. And more than anything, all I care about is spring practice. And this is a unique set of circumstances with the new offense being implemented and a new defense. And you're so eager to see everything, and you may not get the opportunity to see what you want, not in the way that it's really going to look once we get to the fall. But, okay, once you come to grips with that, you say, all right, well, just everybody stay healthy and get right if you're not healthy so that we can be at full strength once we get to the fall and the games, we're preparing for really matter, unlike a freaking spring game. That's all I can think about when I watch these things typically.
Yeah, there's no doubt. But, if you have players like a Bavion Johnson who you need to work with the team at some point, he has to be a member of the team, an active one. That's when you start to get concerned, because how much can you really do in one fall camp, and can you be ready for Virginia Tech, a test like that, game 1? Maybe there's a little bit of a benefit to being in a new system. But still, there's conditioning that goes into running our offense now that's completely different than it was with Jimbo.
Two guys I can't wait to see. To me, it starts with Tamaron Terry. I have been excited by him, obviously, from the open practice a year ago and the opportunity to see what he was doing with James Blackman, all the while knowing that, given the history here, it was not likely that he'd get any playing time. He is a difference maker, potentially, for us. Huge difference maker, I think, and a dynamic player. So I'm excited to see him. Obviously, DJ Matthews is a lot of fun, too. And then Jaden Woodby is another kid that I think everybody's excited to see. You bring in the 5-star kid from California. You're able to persuade him late in the ball game, and then you find out that he sounds like he's a guy from the same mold of what we've seen back there. I mean, we've been so fortunate. You go back to Jalen Ramsey his freshman year, right off the bat, logging playing time. He's competing in a national championship game and was a difference maker for us. And obviously Derwin James, and now you've got another one. Oh, LaMarcus Joyner before that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, there was a presence about LaMarcus, if not size.
Well, but we've just been so fortunate. It's like that run of kickers that we had after being a place where you couldn't find a kicker to make a kick when it mattered. We couldn't find a guy who couldn't.
Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing, right?
I want to see what LeBourne is about at running back.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a player that you couldn't see. He wasn't an early enrollee like Cam was last year. So is it a well-kept secret? Is he, just your run-of-the-mill, above-average running back, but there's no, special things about his game? I think it's the latter. I mean, everybody talks about him like, well, they're just loaded for days at the position. Wait till you see this player, that player. And we got to see Amir Rasul a little bit last year, obviously.
I like Rasul.
And he'll be back, obviously, this weekend if he's all right and healthy. But it's about LeBourne, to me, on offense, just to know if we lose somebody because there's attrition, what do you have behind him? Is it another special player that, we're going to laugh about the running backs we had 5 years from now? It could be.
The Masters played out, and Patrick Reed walked away as yet another first-time winner on the PGA Tour in a major. We keep getting that. That's what's going on these days, is different winners. And you saw what was nearly an historic run from Jordan Spieth. Really is no denying that guy, when he gets in those modes, is of the ilk of the greatest of all time, Tiger, Jack, and others, who can go real low in the moment, embrace it, and go crazy on a golf course. If you're rooting against him, you were in luck. He ran out of holes, and he was too far behind. But it was still very impressive to watch. Ricky Fowler continues his run of top 5, top 10 finishes at majors. Got to be getting very aggravated right about now if you're him. He's handled it well with class. He's handled it well publicly in his statements regarding the 3 second-place finishes at a major, 8 top 10s in a young career at majors. He's been wildly consistent. He did say he thought this time around was different because he made a go of it on a Sunday, made a run at it, 65, to get out there and make that run, given the pressure, is a big deal.
Well, he looked under control the whole way.
Yeah.
He was able to turn some people in his favor down the stretch.
Yeah, good. You and me. Yeah.
Well, and make the birdie. Again, make the birdie. Given what happened at Valspar to Patrick Reed, I was thinking, all right, let him be on the tee box with a one-shot lead, and let's see if he has what it takes to put him through that situation.
Yeah.
Learn from Valspar, where he made a colossal mess of it on the 72nd, and he did. So he absolutely earned it. There's no argument that Patrick Reed earned his win this weekend. There are times when first-year or first-time major winners, you go,
you fell into
guy's
that a little
who
bit.
is that guy?
Yeah, no. And for Reed, listen, you could say you already knew he was mentally tough because of what you saw in the Ryder Cup, but that's a different style of play. There are a lot of guys who excel when the rules are as they are in match play, not in stroke play. And so it doesn't necessarily translate. See Ian Poulter, who hasn't won a lot on the PGA Tour, but will make every damn putt under the sun if it's for a Ryder Cup match. I know he just won in Houston, and he made a long putt to force a playoff there to do it. But, that guy is one of those guys. We've seen countless players like that. For years, Sergio was like that, but he also played well on the PGA Tour.
Well, match play is it's like the difference between a kick return and being a running back.
Right.
You can go
be
full
elusive
speed.
and fast and all those things, but it's not the same thing.
Right. Yeah. You got to set people up and all that stuff in the traditional game.
Patrick Reed, though, and again, you want further proof that he had to reach down deep to do it. Look at the names on the leaderboard making those charges. These are all high-class players, world elite players. Even John Rahm is testing him for a time there, and he certainly knows that Rahm has immense game when he's going right. Man, does that kid got to get his head right. I'll tell you what, I've never seen somebody burn so bright and so hot simultaneously. He's so good, and he's going to win a major. He will, but he is young and angry and frustrated, and it comes out on the course. But Reed had one top 10 finish in 16 major starts, and he had never really played well at Augusta, despite it being a place that he'd played a lot because he went to Augusta State and won a couple of national championships and certainly had played the course a ton. But he owned the par fives and said that was his goal this week. And at minus 13 for the par fives, the all-time record is minus 15 for the par fives. He's right there. He's stuck to the game plan. And I think the most impressive part of that, and, we've both learned something from Coach Jones at Florida State, that the aggressive play is the one sometimes to lay up and sometimes to play the hole the way that you had decided to play the hole during your strategy sessions with your caddy and your coaches, and not to come out of character and do something different because the moment provides for you a sense of urgency that doesn't exist in a practice round. He gets tied. He gets equaled, and Jordan Spieth has hawked him down and found a way at minus 14. Yet Jordan's running out of holes, and Patrick Reed knows he's got some par fives left too, and he has played them exceptionally well and trusted his putter, and he played them that way, and it worked out, and you got to give him credit.
When Jordan made the putt off the green on 12.
I thought, you got to be kidding me.
Well, you're going right to 13, and he owns those holes. And we talked about it last week, where if he just got through 12 in 2016, he would have won the tournament. I mean, and I don't mean obviously because he went in the drink a bunch of times, but if he just, even a bogey on that hole, he's going to win that thing going away. But 12 is just, it's what it is. It's a really challenging hole, and he didn't want any part of it. He put it on the back shelf. It was basically in the first cut of rough. It wasn't even on the fringe because he wasn't going to toy around with that water.
He wasn't going to mess around with that.
But you make a putt like that, you steal a shot. And that's when I think everybody, I was watching out at the corner pocket, and that's when everybody goes, ooh, well, this might get interesting, and it won't be because Rory is doing a damn thing.
Of course he made that putt, though.
Right.
I mean, when you saw it, by the way, it's the damnedest thing, and there is a Tiger effect to this. And it's amazing, and you got to give the player credit. If you do it that many times, it's no longer lucky. It just isn't. Tiger used to make crazy things happen on a golf course, and you'd go, well, okay, of course he – and I'm a fan. So for me, I'd go, woo! But I was around plenty of people who weren't fans, and they go, really? You're going to make a 35-footer, are you now? Okay. That's what we're doing out here today.
Right.
But after a while, that's what he does. That's what the great ones do. They find a way to will it into the damn hole. It sounds crazy, but it happens. Jack did. Other people did. Jordan Spieth has now done it enough for me, especially at that place, where I go, well.
He's never out of it.
No. I mean, he's out there about to set the course record.
Yeah. I thought by the end of the weekend, Tiger looked like he was finally getting his timing back. He was just completely off with his timing and his swing. It was very fundamental, his issues. I don't think it was about mentality or anything.
No, it wasn't about mentality.
He wasn't at the top of his game. And
I thought it was fascinating that there are a number of players or former players and even Michael Collins, the former caddy, and others that I heard speak. I mean, probably a handful, maybe more than that were willing to say, honestly, that they thought it was unfair. this wasn't a pitying comment, but they were saying it's a little unfair to expect that Tiger, who had 2 top 5 finishes in his comeback, was ready to compete at Augusta, given that it is a different feel altogether. And if you haven't been in competition to play that course, which is unique on the tour, you're just not going to make enough putts. You're not going to feel comfortable enough the way you would at a Bay Hill, the way you would at certain other courses, without that pressure of it being a major and without the pressure of expectation. That's the thing. You know, early on in this comeback, Tiger, there were very little in the way of expectations, even from himself, just little. Like, just try to make a cut, see what happens. Next thing you know, he's in second place. The next thing you know, he's 1 shot back with a chance to win a tournament, and we're all stunned. That's very different than going to the Masters, which you really haven't played in 2 years, and you've only played 5 return tournaments total, and expecting to win it and compete.
Yeah, you're one of the betting favorites.
Well, Vegas took advantage of a lot of people there, you know. So, you know, that's it turned out playing that way. I think the bigger shock wasn't Tiger finishing his 4 rounds at 1 over. Shame he birdied 18. He would have finished even par, which was his goal after he was out of the tournament, but he bogeyed 18. I think the bigger shock was Phil throwing up a 79 and just really never being in contention from Thursday on, never, because he was in real form. Not only had he won on the tour again with a great field in Mexico at WGC, he had also had 3 top 10 finishes.
Yeah.
So he was consistently, no matter where they went, playing good golf. He played terribly.
He had a whiff on Saturday. Do you see the clip of it? He had a whiff under a tree branch.
At least he's under a tree branch. I'll give him a break there. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You don't see a whiff every day from a pro.
No, and there was a moment yesterday that you pointed out with much glee, and I don't blame you.
It was awesome.
That Bubba Watson had a putt that went off the green.
Well, he had an eagle putt that he putted into the bunker. It was fantastic. I'm still giggling about it. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
Landowners, your Mahindra dealer is ready to help you save during Mahindra's Red Tag Sale. Enjoy up to $7,900 in tractor cash back and savings, or utility vehicle savings up to $1,700. Plus, Mahindra's industry-leading warranties still come standard. So hurry in for Mahindra's Red Tag Savings.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Starting at just $189 a square foot, only at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. Selection varies by store.
Nestled in Midtown Tallahassee, you'll find a piece of old Ireland. Finnegan's Wake Irish Pub. Locally owned and operated, Finnegan's Wake is the only pub in Tallahassee with an authentic Irish bar. Finnegan's Wake offers the largest selection of Irish whiskey in town and pours more Guinness than any bar or restaurant from Pensacola to Jacksonville. Open daily from 3 p.m. to 2 a.m., Finnegan's offers live music from local and national acts, karaoke, and hospitality nights, and is Tallahassee's premier viewing location for all professional soccer leagues matches. Finnegan's Wake Irish Pub, right off Thomasville Road next to 5th and Thomas. Come join us for a pint, a match, and more stories.
When When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, 574-4100.
Nice Tire and Auto, just minutes away from FSU campus.
This Day in Sports brought to you by Superlube. Superlube, 19 Tallahassee area locations. Quick, convenient, no appointment necessary.
This day in sports history. April 9th, 1993. Nolan Ryan became the oldest pitcher to start and win an opening day game at the age of 46. The Texas Rangers beat the Boston Red Sox 3-1 behind a great performance from Ryan. He threw 6 innings, giving up 4 hits and only 1 unearned run with 5 strikeouts. He would finish the season 5-5 with an ERA of 4.9.
Want better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine? Change your oil every 3 months or 3,000 miles, whichever comes first. You know that sticker on your windshield? Don't look at it now. Wait until the next red light. Okay, check the number on your sticker. Then check your odometer. Is it time? There are 19 Tallahassee area Superlube locations, which means there's one close to you right now. No appointments, and you're in and out in no time. You can do this today. Superlube, for better gas mileage and a longer-lasting engine.
How I love to Superlube my car. Yes, sir.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Here's what's happening. Some history on the line for LeBron James this week, beginning with tonight's matchup against the Knicks. With a win, James and the Cavaliers will claim the Central Division title, making James the first player ever to be a part of 10 straight division titles. James playing tonight in his 81st game of the season. Said at the morning shoot-around, if he comes out healthy, he'll be available in the regular season finale versus the Knicks on Wednesday, meaning he will play in all 82 games for the first time in his career. Baseball, Giancarlo Stanton, certainly glad to have his first homestand as a member of the Yankees in his rearview mirror. Stanton went 3 for 28, 16 strikeouts in his first 6 games in pinstripes, including an 0 for 7 performance in yesterday's loss. Skipper Aaron Boone says it's just timing and that Stanton will figure it out, a thought echoed by ESPN's Buster Olney.
You've got a guy who does so much damage on fastballs. The fact that that's the pitch that is perplexing him right now tells you it's just a matter of him just calming down, of having some success, of having some ease, because all this is a big adjustment, and I think it's going to take some time for him to settle in.
Buster on Golic and Wingo. Stanton and the Yankees start a 3-game homestand versus the Red Sox tomorrow.
Live from the AmeriGas Propane Studios in the capital city of Tallahassee, this is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
Given the climate in 2018, but Green Bay Packers wide receiver Trevor Davis gets arrested at LAX on Sunday after making a joke about a bomb at the ticket counter. My man. Oh.
Bomb, 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 bomb.
Davis and a female companion were checking in for a flight to Hawaii. Nicely done.
Oh, okay.
When an attendant began asking them the now customary questions, which we all get when checking in for a flight, and my man apparently just said something about the line was, here's the line. He looked at the woman he was traveling with and said, "Did you remember to pack the explosives?" Now, admittedly, I like Trevor Davis's sense of humor here. But I also know that's you can't do that. They tend to take those things very seriously. And she replied no, showing she was the one with the sense of humor in the couple. They tried to get Davis to stop. He said, "Just kidding," but it was too late. The police were called immediately, and he was booked and released.
Do you have to push the button? I mean, I guess you're required by law to do it, or I don't know.
It sucks though, man, because I used to think about that all the time. Right? I'd be like, you could make that joke, right? No, you can't make that joke.
A little context here.
Yeah, you really can't make that joke. But I'd like to make that joke. But it's too easy a joke now, so almost not because I'd be arrested, but because it's just too easy.
That was the funniest part of Bridesmaids, the Kristen Wiig movie.
Didn't see it.
Oh yeah, well, at one point the girl says, wait till they go on their honeymoon. I put a loaded gun in his luggage.
Remember Barry Switzer trying to get on a plane with a loaded gun? Any number of people trying to get on a plane?
Oh, my God, he did.
Yeah.
Well, he was coaching the Cowboys, right? Yeah.
That seems so very Barry Switzer. It was ideal. I tell you what, just having been on the air in Norman before with the hosts there in Norman, I in person, listening to Barry Switzer call in, I remember thinking, Barry's going to get himself in big trouble at some point. He doesn't have any sort of filter about anything at all.
Oh, really?
Ever. No. Barry's got some extreme views.
Yeah. So don't put him on the desk of College Football Live or something.
No. Highly entertaining individual, but the guy that, I used to think, got a candidate. And I will say this while we're on the subject of just kind of.
Ditka was such a winner, though. That was going to happen.
Any moment. It was any moment. They were right to get Ditka off the air. It was going to happen any second. Then the thing that happened is at least lighthearted and hilarious, but not what I thought was going to happen.
It's been so long since we've had that in our life, that particular clip.
Well, go ahead, because it makes me laugh to hear Chris Carter in shock.
Susie, I was from Philly, but they got rid of me, so I'm going with the Giants.
Let's see if
Susie, I was from Philly, but they got rid of me, so I'm going with the Giants.
Let's see if
look. He's incredulous. Like, this is what I work with.
Right.
This is what I got to work with.
That whole desk is gone now, too. Think about it. That's crazy.
Susie, I was from Philly, but they got rid of me, so I'm going with the Giants.
Let's see if
Chris Carter looking over, like glaring at it.
Did that just happen?
Like, sir,
Susie, I was from Philly, but they got rid of me, so I'm going with the Giants.
Let's see if
This is live television, man. And Ditka's out here is just dropping bombs. Hey, so I'm going to throw this out there while we're on the subject of guys that we were always worried as they aged would cross that line and say something crazy, either racist or, sexist or something nuts. So we used to think Ditka was on that verge where the filter was gone. He was going to say something nuts. That's actually a little unfair of me. Because I don't know if Mike Ditka's racist.
He's uncouth. Come on now.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, I always worried. I thought, it's going to happen.
You can safely assume it with Bob Knight.
Right. But have you noticed, where the hell's Bob Knight?
Oh.
I'm not saying, of course we know he's not on ESPN anymore, but where is Bob Knight? I think Bob Knight's probably in a home. I think they have really, they've been shielding us.
The darkness is creeping towards you.
There's no doubt about that. The yelling at the kid at the basketball game is still my favorite. I mean, they're in the middle of a broadcast.
Where's Reese Davis? I always liked that guy.
It must have been much to Reese Davis's chagrin that was true.
Reese, you're going to have to interview Bob again tonight.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Why do we have this knucklehead on our show? He doesn't say anything. He doesn't even know the players.
He does to you, though, Reese. He talks to you.
He loves you, Reese. He loves you. Remember the quarterback list I was giving you, the different guys that you could go through, first quarterback drafted, best quarterback drafted? It's fascinating that this particular year it happened, and I thought it was longer ago, but I did not realize it. Michael Vick, 2001, was the first quarterback drafted. Drew Brees was certainly the best quarterback drafted. That was 2001. Eli Manning in 2004, Ben Roethlisberger turned out to be the best quarterback drafted. Miami of Ohio, of course.
Rivers was there too, obviously.
2006 was not a good year to draft quarterback. Vince Young was the first quarterback taken.
Convinced yet?
Vince Young was the first quarterback drafted. The best quarterback drafted, and that using the word best loosely, Jay Cutler.
Oh, wow. Was that recent with Cutler? I feel like he's been around since the 90s.
Well, 2007, a Jimbo Fisher miracle in retrospect. I don't know how he had pulled it off. Jamarcus Russell was the first quarterback taken. Kevin Kolb turned out to be the best quarterback taken in that draft.
Kevin Kolb.
Lean year for quarterbacks. But there it was in 2008, and this is why I brought it up. Matt Ryan was the first quarterback taken. Turned out to be the best quarterback taken. And once that happened, everybody went, see? And it's happened a bunch since then. People have actually gotten it right. Matthew Stafford the following year.
Yeah.
First and best.
Not his
2010.
fault.
Sadly, not a great year for quarterbacks. Sam Bradford.
When healthy, he's all right.
Yep. Cam Newton in 2011. First quarterback off the board. Best quarterback off the board for that year. And then it gets to be, sadly, lean pickings. I'll skip the Andrew Luck, Russell Wilson year, which is a great year for quarterbacks. First quarterback off the board, E.J. Manuel. Best quarterback drafted that year.
Geno Smith?
You got to go wash your hands.
Why does Mahindra have...
Do it.
I decided on Mahindra just because of the sheer strength, the size, the ease of the workability, and it was more of a comfortable machine than the others.
You could lift just about anything with that thing. It has never let me down.
And now get the industry's best 7-year limited powertrain warranty on select models.
Sorry, boys, I did not have time to pack.
We got this.
It's right here, guys.
We got this.
I thought I could handle it.
We got this.
Moving doesn't have to be a hassle. Call us first at 2 Men and a Truck. No matter the move, home or business, we'll make it a smooth one.
I forgot something.
We got this.
When you're in need of auto repairs, look no further than Nice Tire and Auto Service. Nice has been in business for 16 years with long-term, knowledgeable sales associates. They have the latest wheel balancing machine in the industry. And for passenger vehicles, they service AC, brakes, suspension, tune-ups, and much more. Never sit through a long wait. Nice Tire and Auto has 10 service bays to get you back on the road quickly. If you have tire problems, check out their large inventory with various Goodyear and Michelin tires. Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Blountstown Highway, 574-4100.
DVD player for the back seat at no charge.
No charge? Tallahassee Dodge Chrysler Jeep really knows how to throw a party.
You bet they do. Save the date, Saturday afternoon, April 14th. And don't worry, it'll be over in time to get to the spring football game. Right, Gene?
Right on the quarter. And always right on the price.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
Don't miss Scott's Days at your local Ace, our biggest lawn and garden sale of the spring. Right now, buy any bag of Scott's fertilizer and get a free $5 reward. Come back and use it anywhere in the store to make your home or yard look great. Hurry in for great deals throughout the store during Scott's Days. Now through Monday, only at Ace. Limit one bonus reward per Ace Rewards account at participating stores through April 16th. $5 reward delivered by mail.
Tire
Tired of your normal two-piece kit? Makita and Cornerstone are back together with a better-than-ever offer. Purchase a Makita brushless premium hammer drill and impact kit and receive your choice of a free bare tool, plus a free 6-amp-hour battery. That's a total of 3 batteries, a $150 value. Not to mention, buy any 3 Makita brushless tools and get a free starter kit, 1 tool bag, 2 5-amp-hour batteries, and 1 dual bay charger. Cornerstone Tool and Fastener, 1110 Stuckey Ave or 3269 Crawfordville Highway. Tallahassee location open Saturdays, 8 a.m. to noon.
O'Reilly. Defend your vehicle from harmful elements and restore shine with Armor All Canister Wipes. Right now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, pick up Armor All Canister Wipes for $3.99. Easily remove dirt, dust, and grime with Armor All Canister Wipes on sale for $3.99 at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day. Limits apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. And now, Jeff and Eddie wasting time when they're supposed to be recording a commercial.
What do you think about this team this weekend?
Crazy, huh? Really fast.
And they're good. Where do they come from?
Never thought about it.
Oh,
Never
my
thought
goodness.
about it.
But then that one guy does that thing.
I had 2 people call about it. It's ridiculous.
It's the talk of the town.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
This is the Jeff Cameron Show on 97.9 ESPN Radio.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
Getting right after it, buddy. I guess that Braves pregame. All kinds of cool, weird stats from the opening week of baseball, but Tom says to be done with it. Tigers! Taking on Cleveland, we got Francisco Liriano, former Bucco. I didn't know that's where you went. Corey Kluber going to go for Cleveland. Braves, Nats, aforementioned, Julio Teheran and Max Scherzer. He'll make his second consecutive start versus the Braves, by the way. Reds, Phillies, we got Cody Reed and Ben Lively. Brewers, Cards. Jules, Chacin. Brewers. Cardinals will throw Miles McCollum. Do I have that right? Mikolas?
Yes.
I believe we've got a new character. He's in his first start after 3 years in Japan. Sounds like a Mikolas. When you look at him, he's got the worst cheesy 70s child molested mustache you've ever seen.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah. Miles Mikolas.
Yes.
Mikolas?
Yes.
Blue Jays, Orioles, J.A. Happ. Does anybody else pitch for the freaking Blue Jays?
Just to torment you, he pitches every day.
Dylan Bundy also pitches every day for the Baltimore Orioles. Still looking like he'd like to wrestle a cow somewhere rather than pitch. Mets, Marlins, Noah Syndergaard's good. It cost Syndergaard a chance to win his last time out because he was inefficient. He lasted all of 4 innings throwing 92 pitches. Jeez, man. But he is still 1-0 with a 1.38. Just throw fewer pitches, dude.
Yeah, he's a good reliever.
Jose Arena, who on opening day, boom, was giving it up. Bounced back and pitched 7 innings his next time out. Looked good.
Oh, okay.
Got it together.
Okay.
Got it together. Angels, Rangers, Garrett Richards, and Doug Fister. Hey, now. Astros, Twins, Justin Verlander are going to go for the Astros, and Lance Lynn goes for the Twins. Mariners, Royals, we got Marco Gonzalez, Jacob Junis. Padres, Rockies, Clayton Richard, and John Gray. D-backs, Giants, Zach Godley. Derek Holland, still in the league, still out there pitching. Derek Holland. Goodness gracious.
Living the dream.
That's a look at those that shall reside on the bump.
Blowing through the jasmine in my mind.
Woo. By the way, the Orioles are averaging more than 11 strikeouts a game. They struck out 15 times in their extra inning win over the Yankees on Sunday. Imagine if they had Giancarlo Stanton.
My goodness.
He has 3 home runs and 4 hits. 48 plate appearances, steady striking out, hitting a cool 108.
108.
Cool 108.
Oh, buddy.
The Rays have 1 hitter with an OPS above 100.
What? Above 100?
Yeah. Denard Span. There it is. Tough times.
That's impossible.
Well, yeah, that's what it says. OPS above 100. 100. Yeah, so that's a mistake, right?
It's going to be 1,000.
Yeah,
because it's early in the year.
They wrote 100.
Okay.
I was gonna say you're right. That can't be.
It's like impossible.
It would seem to be.
They'd be no hit as often as we feel. They get no hit,
which is frequent. Yeah, it's kind of weird. The Indians have the lowest batting average in baseball by a rather dramatic margin. By the way, they're hitting 158. That's more than 100 points lower than anybody else.
158.
They can't get a hit. But they're playing in freezing weather. It's like the Tigers have 2 home runs as a team.
No, well, yeah, and that's, I mean,
yeah.
If you're the Rays, too, you play the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the Red Sox again. I mean, I know the record's awful, but, I mean, that's a hell of a first 10 games.
Yeah.
Jeez.
The Astros are, who they thought they would be. They have the best ERA in baseball. That's not surprising. And the Angels are really surprising when you look at the production there. They are walking, they are hitting, they are pitching, and Ohtani is leading the way.
What's the story for your squad? For mine, it's just the bullpen's good. The bullpen is really good so far.
Starting pitching's been real good for Pittsburgh, and we've scored the 3rd most runs in all of baseball.
Well.
Gregory Polanco is hitting a ton. Came out healthy. He's already got, I think, 4 home runs. So
you were happy for McCutchen? 6 hits over the weekend? 6 hits,
including the walk-off homer? Sure. Yeah.
That was not his doing, other than maybe performance.
I like Kutch, and the oddity is that I made fun of his performance. I didn't make fun of his performance. I was down on his performance, and then I saw him come to bat for the Giants the other night, not in that game. They're like, Kutch last year, 288, 29 home runs and 90 RBIs. I was like, that's not bad at all.
It didn't feel that way.
It felt terrible. Good work, Markeith. Great work, Tom. Good to talk to y'all again. Talk to you again tomorrow. We'll do little headlines. Should be fun. Braves pregame coming up next.